Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai.
Learning crystal gazing. Crystal gazing, we have a crystal ball and we learn to look into the crystal ball. And in those days I was, very keen on studying astrology, and so one of the things I was doing was crystal gazing. So one day my teacher asked me that, how do you look into a crystal ball? So I said that I look into the ball and then I visualize a kind of white cloud, and then I have a question inside, and that cloud takes a certain shape and gives me the answer to the question. So he says, why don't you bring your crystal ball? We'll see how we can look into the crystal ball. So I brought the crystal ball, and usually when we look at a crystal ball, we look like this. So he put the ball there and he said, now look from here. And what do you see? I said, I see the crystal ball. They say, you have to see properly, see. Then your attention is not focused. Now, when the attention focuses in a certain kind of one-pointedness, something is seen on that crystal ball which is not there. It is not an optical illusion. It is your dharana shakti, the power of your attention which is created. So you look at the crystal ball and suddenly in that crystal ball a small kind of dot is seen, which is there because your attention is one-pointed. So then he told me that now you keep on looking at the dot. Don't allow a single thought to come in between. So I kept on looking, and slowly the dot started growing into a window. Within the crystal ball there was another crystal light. Now he said, now is the time, you don't stop looking, keep on looking, don't get up, don't think, don't flutter an eyelid, just keep on looking through and through the window as deep and as far as possible. So I kept on looking, and slowly the window grew up. At one point, the whole crystal ball was in the window. So he said, now don't stop, you keep on looking. He was sitting right in one corner of the room. So I kept on looking, and suddenly the ball started growing, and I started feeling frightened inside that what is this happening, And at one point the whole room we were sitting was in the crystal ball. He was inside and I was inside. And he says, now you hold it over there. I asked him that what is this happening? He said, the same with the present moment. We don't have the attention to look at the present moment. We cannot hold the present moment. ये वर्तमान क्षण को पकड़ने के लिए हमारे पास अवधान ही नहीं है, ध्यान की शक्ति ही नहीं है, पकड़ने यानी उसको पेनिट्रेट करने के लिए. तो जब ये अवधान बढ़ती है, when this attention grows, suddenly the present moment takes on a different meaning, something else. Then we see time in a straight line as past to future. We never see the present. For us, time is always past, future. I am talking to you. Your ears are listening to what I say, but by the time you understand what I am saying, it is not the present moment. There is a difference of 1/8 of a second between my saying and your hearing. There is a difference Because that is the speed in which impulses travel in the nerves, in the nervous system within our body. Right? So, what is the present moment? How do we go into the present moment? Is it something we understand from here? See, we cannot make a mathematical calculation कि गुरुजी ने बोला है कि वर्तमान क्षण में रहो तो वर्तमान में रहो. It is not possible. ये कोई mathematics नहीं है present moment का. लेकिन the present moment can become an emotion. Like I fall in love with a girl, I fall in love with the present moment, with the sensitivity of the present moment. Then my attention is held in the present moment. Once my attention penetrates the present moment grows. It is not one fleeting moment. It grows. And at one time, what we call past and future enters into the present. Like that window in the crystal ball. It enters into the present. Patanjali says, Atit anagata swarupta asti dharmanam ardhva bhedar. The past and the future exist in the present. The form which is seen is just the result of some developed characteristics. The rest of the characteristics are lying latent inside. वो हमारी नियति पड़ी हुई है. वो नियति में से थोड़ा बहुत हमने आयोजन किया है. जो कहते हैं कि इतना मेरे पास बैंक बैलेंस है, वो नियति में से हमने निकाला है. लेकिन पूरी नियति में से कैसे निकालना, for that we have to have attention in the present moment. So, like space is three-dimensional, time is three-dimensional. It is not one-dimensional. In the morning I said there is three-dimensional space, three-dimensional time. There is a point. When we learn geometry, we say if there is a point, suppose there is a point and the point moves, it becomes a line. This is one-dimensional space, the line. If the line moves, it becomes the plane. This is two-dimensional space. If the plane moves, it becomes the cube. This is three-dimensional space. Similarly, time is also three-dimensional. But space we can see with our five senses. We can sense with our five senses. Time is within the mind. We cannot sense it with our five senses. I cannot catch time like I catch something in space. I can catch this cube in space. But I cannot catch time. Time is the movement of the mind. Within the mind, there is time. But it is also three-dimensional. I say that I am just a point in time. This moment is just a point in time. So I say, suppose there is this moment, this point in time. I am 51 years old today, right? Okay, now if this point in time has to move, tomorrow I will be 52. Next year I will be 53. And year after that I will be 54. And I can draw the line back and I say one day I was 5 years old also. I can draw it back. I can say this is my line of time. My line of time. But time is a very, very deep subject. How to go into time? You see, time, within us also there are times which change. But I'll come to, otherwise it will become very, very confusing. Like there is a time of old age, there is a time of young age. How do we measure time? We'll say hours and minutes and seconds. And I'll say 1 hour of childhood and 1 hour of old age is equal. Won't I say that? But time cheats me. Time cheats me. In 1 hour of childhood, the amount a child puts in that 1 hour, in old age, I cannot put even 1,000th of the same in that 1 hour. You get what I'm trying to say? A child is taking in impressions at such a fast speed, so many impressions are coming into the child. Time, I measure time as same. 1 hour of childhood is equal to 1 hour of old age. But time cheats us. Time cheats us. What we can do in 1 hour of childhood, we cannot do in 12 hours of old age. Time cheats us. But we always think time is the same. Time is a big illusion. So, What I'm trying to say, there is a line of time. I am the point in time, or you are the point in time, and everybody has their line of time. This line of time is my actuality. It is not my possibility. It is my actuality. Out of so many possibilities, one actuality has resulted. कितनी भी शक्यताएं हैं, उसमें से एक शक्यता की लकीर निकल गई, उसको मैं जिंदगी कहता हूं. आप समझते हैं मेरी बात को? You getting what I'm trying to say? लेकिन if this line of time was to move, then it will become the plane of time. My eternity, मैंने एक जीवन जिया, दूसरा जीवन जिया, तीसरा जीवन जिया, दूसरी, we look at it from some other way. Look at it some other way. Supposing one cell is moving in the body from here to here, one blood cell. At this point it dies. At this point that blood cell dies. Now another blood cell comes there with the same memory. There is recurrence, punarjanam. This memory, the software from this cell goes into the next cell, and that cell continues. You get what I'm trying to say? There is continuity, as if nothing has happened. As if nothing. You see, I am also a cell in some bigger body. You see, and in that bigger body, I die, and again it continues. Am I coming across? Am I? So similarly, there is this movement of this line of time, and this time, then the line is moving. One line, another life, it forms my plane of time. In that plane of time, there are so many possibilities. वो plane of time is my eternity. उसको हम नियति कहते हैं. My destiny, my niyati, my destiny. We say, my teacher used to say, your face is your fortune, your feet are your destiny. Your face is your fortune, your feet are your destiny. When I see people, they don't look after their feet. Feet are not clean, feet are not covered by socks. We powder our face. Nobody powders the feet, but the feet are the destiny. The face is only one line of time which has come out, my fortune. One line which I pulled out of so many lines of time, one line I pulled out is my face. But all the lines of time together are my feet, and I don't look after them. Yeah, he teaches people how to look after their feet. He was giving a big lecture on it. How to look after your feet. Right? It's very important. So, this point has not come from Gita ji. This morning we said that Swami Ramdulare said, सब कुछ नियोजित है, फिर भी उसका आयोजन करना पड़ता है. उसमें से ये निकला टाइम का. But we'll continue and finish it over here. So what am I trying to say? This is there. Now over here, this is a point in time, any point in time. At this point in time, I have a choice. I can do anything with this. But I put it over here. So I have drawn one line of time. But when it is here, I can put it here, I can put it here, I can break it into pieces, I can throw it out of the window, whatever, right? So many possibilities I can do. So where are those possibilities? They must be somewhere to appear from over here. They must be lying somewhere. In some bank balance, in some tijori, in some safe deposit vault, they must be lying somewhere for them to manifest on this plane. They don't come from nowhere, right? So all the possibilities which are possible with this lie in my destiny. I have made a choice and I put this over here. Because of that I became a beggar is a different thing. When it was over here, I had a choice. I did not have to become a beggar, but I took the wrong choice I made. That does not mean I'm a beggar. In my plane of time, in my bank balance, so many possibilities are there. I cannot see them. Little bit of attention and I'll be able to see them. But that is the plane of time. But what about the cube of time? What about all the possibilities which I cannot think of? They must also be somewhere. No, I'll say I want to make this into gold, or I want to make this into silver. So I can make it. I can't make it. Maybe if there's some magician, maybe he can make it. Right? Anyway, so what I said in the morning, there is a cube of time in which all the possibilities which are not possible also exist. I say this, I want to turn this into gold, but somewhere it will exist, that possibility. We call that possibility as God, whatever we want to call it, we call it absolute. That is the cube of time where all possible possibilities and all non-possible possibilities exist somewhere for it to be made possible. You get now what I'm trying to say? So three-dimensional space, we live in three-dimensional space and three-dimensional time. Don't think that just what we are living, our bodies are everything. Within us there is a layer of space and time and space and time, and all these are flowing together, and yours and ours are all interconnecting together. In this wholeness we are living together. This is called living time. I don't know if I can express it in any better way than this. So this is time. Anyway, we'll take the next Yodha. The next three, Drushtaketu, Chekitana, Kashi Rajascha Viryavan. Drushtaketu, Shishupal's son. You've all heard of Shishupal? Shishupal's sons. Chekitana was of the Vrishni clan of Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna was of the Vrishni clan. He was of his clan, his clansman. What do we call clan? Kul. Shri Krishna ka kul ka tha. और काशी राज, काशी राज का नाम नहीं दिया गया, his name is not taken, काशी राज. Kashi means the one who shines. All these three are Viryavan. Viryavan, those who have transformed sex energy. These are three Shaktis within us, three powers within us, which the Pandavas have developed in their Vanvas. These are three new sanskars which they have developed, and these have been developed through the transformation of sex energy. Sex energy has three layers. The physical, which we call Shukra, the psychological, which we call as Virya, and the spiritual, which we call as Ojas. It is not just the ordinary sex energy which science says in the laboratory, right? Now, supposing I'm in imagination all the time. I'm in imagination all the time, right? And I'm imagining that tomorrow I'll buy this, and day after tomorrow I'll do this, and I'll buy so many shares, and then the market will go up, and I'll do this, and I'll do that, right? Or maybe I'll say I'll get a pretty wife and things like that. So when I'm imagining and this movement of desire is going on within me, we saw that sex energy and desire go together. You will say, how is it possible? You will say, how is it possible? Take a microscope, take some other instrument in the laboratory and check. Just now I have so many million sperms. After imagining so much, have the sperms gone up or gone down? So doctor will say, they've gone up. Then you will say, how is it possible? You are saying we lose sex energy. But what do we lose? We lose virya, not shukra. Now try to understand the same thing in women and men, because of the so many years of male domination, all the terms used are for men only. So we'll try to this thing, right? So shukra is not lost, the sperm is not lost, but the psychological counterpart is lost. Right? Okay. Take another example. People come, they say that what is the way to have a child? What is the right way to bring up a child? So I'll say that my teacher taught me that parenting starts 1 year before you have the child. 1 year before you have the child. How is it possible? So say you have to do so much before 1 year, then you have to make a decision to have a child. That decision is very important. Then you have to start on a certain day. You have to have so many months of brahmacharya. And many times the young male comes to me And he says that, you see, you are saying that we have brahmacharya, but sometimes in my dreams, I lose the sperm. Then what happens? Is that brahmacharya? I said, don't worry, that only Shukra is going, Virya is not going. When you have the child, that sankalp which you have done to have 3 months of brahmacharya, that sankalp will give some magnetism to the child. That science cannot measure that magnetism in a laboratory. You get what I'm trying to say? Virya and Shukra are different things. But we keep on losing Virya. We are imagining all the time. The whole day we are in our imagination. Let loose. All our priceless energy we are losing in imagination. So, the whole art of Tantra and Yoga is to separate the Virya from the Shukra. And when you separate the Virya from the Shukra, all imagination starts calming down. We start living in the present moment. Then we don't bother about what is going to happen tomorrow. We are so relaxed in the present moment. Then Virya separates, and from that Virya, these 3 yodhas, these 3 warriors are born. It is transformation of sex energy. The first is Drishtaketu. He is Shishupal's son. It's a very... Mahabharata is it's an unimaginable work of art. Unimaginable. I mean, within each meaning is a different meaning. Within a meaning is a different meaning. And we can spend our whole lives just enjoying meaning after meaning. Now, this Drishtaketu is Prahlad's son. But not in this life. In his past life, he was Prahlad's son, Anulad. So there is a deep meaning to his existence. Ketu means shine. Ketu means to shine. Drishta means right to a distance. One who shines to a distance. Far away. Dur tak diski chamak jati hai. Acha. Now, the first thing is that Shishupal was the king of Cheddi Pradesh. This Cheddi is a area in our psychic nature, in our brain. Cheddi Pradesh. And Shri Krishna killed Shishupal. Now, till Shishupal is killed, his son Drishtaketu cannot come onto the kingdom. It's not possible. Unless the father gives way, the son will not come onto the kingdom till the father is king. Now we have to see whether that Shishupal is still alive within us. So, supposing I'm a young kid and say this is my beautiful Mercedes-Benz car or Rolls-Royce car, small car, and I'm playing with the car and somebody else takes away the car, I will say, this is my car, Shishupal. You get what I'm trying to say? Shishupal. Right? Or if it's a girl and she's playing with her doll and somebody takes away the doll, this is my doll. I remember just recently my daughter, 6-year-old daughter, she saw a beautiful doll with the neighbor's daughter or something, and I had to go and buy her a doll from the market. So, Shishupal. I want it means I want it. Right? Now, is that has he been killed within us? Uska vad hua hai ke nahi hua hai? Just see. Supposing you read the papers, everybody reads the papers, so they'll say, okay, this politician has lost his seat. लेकिन वो अपना घर खाली नहीं करता है. वो what will he say? This is my Mercedes-Benz. I will not give it to you. That Shishupal. You just see all the politicians. All the politicians. वो शिशुपाल का वध नहीं हुआ है. वो politician की बात नहीं है. हम सब की. It's about all of us. That childish nature within us. The child should not go. The childishness has to go. The innocence should not go. But the childishness should become maturity. But that childishness does not go. Even now we are running around. This is mine. Give me new car. Give me new home. Give me new doll. Luckily we don't say give me new wife. Give me, right? We are running all the time. This Shishupal has to be killed. That is the first this thing. Now that Shishupal is killed by Shri Krishna. So we have to invoke on the inner Guru, and a certain communication happens in which that Shishupal is killed. Then Drishtaketu comes onto the kingdom. Drishtaketu comes on the kingdom. Now, what did we see in the first? Yuyudhan Viratascha Drupadascha. I said my wife is getting angry, right? Suddenly I am irritated because she is getting angry. And this irritation has come in the form of one Kaurav warrior. So now the Pandavas have to fight against that warrior. So I want to be free of this irritation. So the first warrior who came was Yuyudhan. He reminds me that don't get angry, otherwise you will lose your aim in life. Your aim in life is to understand the ultimate truth. If you want to understand the ultimate truth, you cannot allow this irritation to hypnotize you, take you away. First, Yuyudhan came. Second, nothing can be done straight away. Please relax, take it easy, Virat. Third, don't allow, just drop the thought or drop the instrumental cause. The instrumental cause could be, son has not done well in exam, drop the instrumental cause. Nimit karan ko chhod do. Then the fourth warrior is Drishtaketu. There is still a desire to get angry. There is still a desire, I want to get angry. I want to put him in place. Who does he think he is? He has done this to me. I have a right to be angry upon him. Right? So we justify that anger. There is a righteousness about that anger. There is a holiness about that anger. The court has justified it. Wo judge ka chhap hai. Right? So at that time, when it is pulling, I have to stop. I have to say, enough is it. Enough. Please don't seduce my attention. My attention is precious. I will not allow this irritation to take away my anger. So I say stop. This stopping is Drishtaketu. I say stop. I will not allow myself to be caught in this whirlpool of anger. This whirlpool of irritation. I will not allow it. This is Drishtaketus. Just hang on. Put a resistance. Start resisting. This resistance is not fighting. It is not fighting. Just hold on, resist. So Drishtaketu, now that kind of resistance will only come with will. Will only come with will. It is a kind of will, not willpower. Not willpower. Willpower में परिस्थिति को बदलते हैं. मनोबल में परिस्थिति को बदलते हैं. आत्मबल में स्वयं को बदलते हैं, परिस्थिति को नहीं बदलते हैं. आप समझते हैं मेरी बात को? In willpower we change the circumstances. In spiritual will we change ourselves. The circumstances are the same. उसको गाली देना है 1 2 1000 दो. I don't want to change him. कि वो कौन है मुझे गाली देने वाले. I don't want to change him. Why should I change him? But the reaction which is coming from the listener of that, I change that. You get what I'm trying to say? That is will. In willpower, we want to change. Okay, today I've earned 100 rupees. Tomorrow I want to earn 110 rupees. I have the willpower to put up this factory, to do this. But in spiritual will, I'm relaxed. What comes in my thali, I eat it. I don't ask for it. You get what I'm trying to say? So, Drishtaketu is spiritual will. Just hang on. Don't change the circumstances. Don't judge the circumstances that he was wrong to get angry on me and I was right to get angry on him. Don't judge anything. Just be there and try to relax in that moment. Drushta ketu chekitana is work memory. Gurdjieff has put a lot of emphasis on this work memory. He talks a lot about it. Okay, without a work memory, sadhana is not possible. It is not possible. My guru tells me that when you get irritated, tense and relax the muscles. So after 5 days, I'll go back to my guru and say, साहब आप तो बोलते हैं कि टेंस एंड रिलैक्स द मसल्स, लेकिन जब गुस्सा आता है तब वो याद नहीं आता है तो क्या करेगा? गुस्सा चला गया फिर याद आया टेंस एंड रिलैक्स द मसल्स. You get what I'm trying to say? But when the anger comes, I don't remember to tense and relax. There's no work memory. You have to create a work memory. When you go back to sleep at night, remember that anger again. Relive that anger again and put in a memory. Make a new memory of that anger. This is called work memory. And by making a conscious memory, see, the memory which we are creating now, everything is recorded inside, is an unconscious memory. When we create a sadhana ki smruti, a spiritual memory, it has to be created consciously. There must be purpose behind the action. Right? So I create a conscious memory. I relive that him coming over there, his giving me the bad word, his saying something to me, that irritation which came in my body, I sense it in my blood, I sense it in my nerves, in my muscles, and I feel how I wanted to throw it all onto him. I relive that. I may do it consciously. It is not anger I am reliving, it is sensitivity, because it is being done consciously. And even if it happened in the morning and I am doing it at night, it is in the present moment, because it is sensitivity, and the 5 senses are always in the present moment. You get? So a new memory I have created consciously. Now when he comes tomorrow again, I have done my homework at night, suddenly that consciously created memory comes and says, okay, why do you want to get angry? Do this immediately. Now for different things we can put different things. Say like, in the young days I may be imagining too much about sex. So I say, okay, now I'm imagining too much about sex. What to do about this? Something has to be done. So every time when I go to sleep at night, I check from morning, where did I imagine about sex? I relive that moment where I imagine about sex, and I put it at that time. I will close my eyes just for a few seconds, 1 or 2 seconds, and I'll visualize beautiful green trees and green lawns. And with that green color, sex gets pacified. It becomes shant, cool, just for a moment. Right? Now, this is a consciously created memory. It may not work for 1 month, it may not work for 2 months. But the first time it works, then it will start working. Then every time I have a thought about sex, again I'll close my eyes, visualize the green lawns, I'll visualize the birds singing in their songs, and I'll just forget my imagination about sex. Stopped. You get what I'm trying to say? This is a consciously created memory, work memory. We have one beautiful example in the Mahabharata. Which one? Can you tell me? Beautiful example. Karna. At the right moment of the war, Karna forgot the mantras which his guru had taught him. The memory for sadhana was not created consciously. You get what he brought out the astra. He wanted to shoot at Arjun, throw the arrow at Arjun. But he couldn't remember the astras which his guru had taught him. The work memory was not there. At the point of battle, if we cannot remember. So a new memory. Abhi, now the situation is created. I have relaxed. I have stopped moving. Now what to do? Because what is happening in this? Now, energy can have two movements. Attention can have two movements. One is outside through the senses, one is back to the source. Now, attention going outside through the senses is life. Going back to the source is spirituality. Right? Attachment, detachment. Attachment, detachment. Now, at this point, I want to, when my wife told me something, I'm getting irritated. Now the energies are on the verge of going out. The attention is on the verge. Now I want to reverse them. How to take them in? So I have to remember what the Guru says. I created the situation. Now I remember what the Guru says. Chekitana. Chekitan is of the Vrishni clan. Vrishni means the testes. Vrishni means the testes. Testes means power, means sex energy. Now, in the morning, I think we talked that sex energy, when it is transformed, it knows its source is from that bindu inside. So it knows where to go back to the source. We want to take the energies back to the source. So the energy which is flowing outside in kamna, in vasna, that has to return. So Chekitana is from the Vrishni clan. The only energy which will move backwards is sex energy. And that is why at that point, he gives me the answer, now do this, and the energies will move back. I have to just hang on, just turn the energies a little, and they will start moving up on their journey upwards through the backbone. The next warrior is Kashiraj. Kashi means to shine. My Guru used to say many times that one day his son was talking on the phone. And maybe he was talking to his girlfriend, or who he was talking to, we don't know. So he was talking very softly on the phone, And then after he put down the phone, my Guru told his son that, see, this person on the other side said this. Why were you talking so softly? Right? Now, he has said something to me, or my wife has said something to me, I have got irritated. Now, Gurdjieff talks of two forms of considering: external considering, internal considering. In internal considering, I am always accounting. We are all very good accountants. If I go to her house for lunch and have 5 rotis, so she's now counting that when will I go to his house and have 6 rotis. Right? I don't mean you. Okay, we are all very good accountants. Right? हाँ वो इतना ले गया, हाँ हमारा शादी पे इतना दिया था तो इससे ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए. We are all very good accountants. But this is just one level of accounting. But we account at deeper levels also. We account at deeper levels कि वो मुझे समझता नहीं है. He doesn't understand what I am saying. I am trying to tell you something. Please understand. Please understand. So every husband will tell his wife, "Okay, you don't understand me. Then why did you get married in the first place? Please, you don't understand." Right? My wife, she can't understand what I am going through. Right? Other way around also. Other way around also. So, what does it mean? What does it mean? That I am so weak inside that somebody else has to understand me? वो मेरी बात समझता ही नहीं. I'm trying to account inside. Why should he understand what I have to say? He has his own intelligence, or she has his own intelligence, her own intelligence. Why should she understand what I have to say? And why should my understanding be her or his understanding? But we always expect that she should, or she or he should understand my point of view. This is a very weak situation. We are making some very deep accounting over here. Now, she has a right to be angry. Again, I'll quote Ram Dulare Bapu. प्राणी मात्र साधक है और हर परिस्थिति साधना है. Man is just a seeker of truth, and every moment in life, every opportunity in life is for growth. Patanjali also says this, right? Prakash kriya sthiti bhut indriya atmakam bhog apvarga artham drashyam. That what is this scene I'm seeing outside? This scene I'm seeing outside is made of the 5 elements and the 3 forces. It comes in through the 5 senses. I can use it either for bhog, indulgence, attention goes outside, or I can use it for upward, making the attention rise inside. It is up to me. Every opportunity. What do you want to do? You want to rise up or you want to become a victim of life? Har paristhiti sadhana hai. So, at this moment, if I say that she has no right to be irritated, then I let the energies go down. Bhoga artham ho gaya. And if I say, nay, she has a right to be angry. That is her intelligence. Why should I bother about changing her intelligence? Let me change myself. Apvarga artham drashyam. You get what I'm trying to say? So now is it in me that is reacting, and it is always the ego which is reacting. Now an opportunity has come to see that ego, to feel that ego. Now the minute I do this and the energies start moving inside, her skin changes, right? This is Kashi Raj. Kashi, something is shining. Ye jo sadhana thoda kiya, energies are rising inside, the energies shine out. And with that shining comes a certain intuition inside. I realize why he got angry on me. I realize why my wife got irritated. Now I'm not concerned about myself. Now my considering has shifted from myself internal to external, my wife. She had a right. I try to become her. I know. Like my guru said, I can hear what was said on the other side of the phone. You get what I'm trying to say? Kashi Raj. The power to know, to become the other person, to realize that why he or she did this to me. And everybody, when they do it, in their own intelligence, they think they are right. And to become that person and to realize how he thought or she thought she was right. Kashi Raj. This is called external considering. Gurdjieff calls it to wear the other person's shoes. To wear the other person's shoes. Kashi Rajascha Viryavan. These 3 warriors have come from the transformation of sex energy. We'll go to the next ones. Purujita Kunti Bhoja Shebhyascha Narapungavaha. Puru means many. Jeet means to conquer. If there are some Jains, the Jains have a slok. Namo Arihan Tanam. Right? It's very, very deep. Very, very deep. So we won't go into what it means. Because the whole slok is connected with the movement of the Kundalini Shakti. And how each word and each intonation hits the Kundalini at which chakras. The whole movement of Kundalini and this thing is in that. Anyway, but they have a meaning to it. The meaning really does not mean anything. It is actually deeper yoga, but just for the outward face they have a meaning. And the first sentence is Namo Ariyantanam. I bow down to the destroyer of enemies. I bow down to the destroyer of enemies. Who has destroyed the enemies? Who are the enemies? The 5 senses are the enemies. The 5 senses are seducing my attention every moment. Every moment the 5 senses are seducing my attention. See this is better, hear this, hear that. They are not allowing the attention to go inside to where it came from. They are not allowing the energy to travel inwards. You can't cut out your eyes, huh? Don't cut out the eyes. Now, each sense organ has 2 directions. The eyes can see outwards, but there is an inner eye which can see inwards. inwards. The ears can hear outwards, but there is an inner ear which can hear inwards. The skin touches outwards, but the skin, it can sense and it can touch the divine inside. Throughout our lives, we work with only one direction of the senses. We don't even realize that the senses have another direction, that they can open in another direction. There is another direction to them. So I'll say my eyes are closed. But then how do I see a dream? In the dream I see colors, I see beauty, I see everything. I hear words, but I'm not hearing anything from outside. Right? So, but we don't work on these inner senses. In a dream, they are automatically turned inwards. I remember one beautiful incident. I'll repeat it. I've repeated it so many times. I'll repeat it once more over here. Many times I tell everybody that, I'm just a broadcasting radio loudspeaker. And I just keep on doing all this buck and I give away everything. And my guru did not give it so easily to me, as easily as I am giving it to everyone. He made me work for every inch of space. And once I was asking him, can you tell me what are tanmatras? He had a special quality about him, that if I ask him, sir, what happened in what are tanmatras? He say, what did you do in the stock market today? God. You see, I used to be in the stock market at that time, and the stock market was from 12 to 2, so after 2 o'clock his home was near, so I would go and sit with him. So what did you do in the stock market? Then after, sir, can you explain to me what is tanmatra? Like that he went on for 6 months. What is? And never told me. In a lecture I just tell it just like that. That is the difference. The guru teaches. The Shishya broadcasts. Right? So one day after 6 months, I was leaving, and at that time he was teaching me Yog Nidra. How to waken up in the sleep and all that. So he said that you are doing some stupid thing in the morning about with your sleep and all that. I don't know what you are doing. But in that you ask, what is tanmatra? Why are you asking me? So, that very morning I had a dream. And in the dream there was a waterfall falling. And in that waterfall, somebody asked me, okay, where are you? I said, I'm in the dream. Because I was practicing that separating from the dream. So, I said, I'm in the dream. So, he said, is this waterfall real? I said, no, this waterfall is not real. It is a dream. Okay, put your hand in it. So I put my hand in it, in a dream. But is the feeling of becoming wet real? So I said, yes, the feeling of becoming wet real. That is tanmatra. See, there is an outer sense. There is an inner sense. And the yogi learns to detach the inner sense from the outer sense. This is called detachment. He sees inside. He sees, literally sees inside. He hears inside. He senses inside. This is detachment. The one who has been victorious over the many means the 5 senses. The one who has had victory over the 5, opened a new direction of each sense organ. Purujit. Now the energies are turning inwards. I want to find where these energies are going. I want to find the source of those energies. So I am putting my attention behind the energies. But unless the inner senses have opened, unless the inner senses have awakened, how am I going to follow these energies? They will go on their journey, but I have to follow those energies. So now I am turning each sense inward. I am not bothered about the outside world. And this is called as pratyahar. That is what my learned friend said, pratyahar. Each sense, the outer sense and the inner sense are detached from each other. Ours are not detached. That is why dream yoga is very important. Dream yoga is important because in this 70 years, how many years are we going to spend on detaching these senses? But in dreams, they are automatically detached. They are automatically detached. So we can work from there very fast. Right? So Purujit is one who has detached the inner senses. I'll take one more before you. See, in the first talk we talked about the outer electromagnetic field and the inner electromagnetic field. What happens when I detach the senses? Something is coming to attract my attention, to take me outside of the senses, but I have detached the inner senses. I cannot be. So the Pur also means a fort. Pur also means a fort, kila. I have made my body into a kila. Abhi koi dushman attack nahi kar sakta. No enemy can attack the inner because it has become a fortress. Next is Kunti Bhoj. Bhoj means posture. Posture. Right posture. Posture is very important. If you read the book, there is one set of exercises called corrective exercises. Right posture. Patanjali calls this as Pratipaksha Bhavanam. Somebody, I'm moving along the road and somebody hits me like this and I get irritated. At that moment, get into the opposite posture of love. Okay, share the energies. He has not hit me, he has shared his energy with me. Right posture. Right posture. Immediately correct it. Otherwise that irritation is going to go inside. Don't allow it to go inside. I'm driving on the car, but somebody cuts across like this. And I get, who is he to cut across like this? Right? At that moment, immediately correct it. Okay, maybe it was his road. I don't know. Maybe in some life I banged against his car. I don't know. Right? He has a right of way. So, wherever a negative thought happens, a negative emotion happens, correct it immediately. Right posture. Posture is very important. We call it as mudra, and the science of mudra is very deep. I'll come to it. When I take Abhimanyu, I'll come to what is the science of mudra. It's a very deep science. Kunti Bhoj. Kunti means to invoke. Kuhu means to invoke. Bhoj means that asan where I invoke. The asan to invoke. Now, every Sishya who moves on the path knows one thing, that some things he can do and some things come from grace. Some things come from grace. Even if he is ready, he has to wait, allow it to happen. He has to allow it to happen. Now till here he has detached his inner senses. The energies are now flowing upwards. The attention which was seduced outside has now turned inwards. Now what to do? Now just sit in the asana to allow it to happen. It is going to happen. It will happen. But now it is not in my hands. Now His grace is needed for it to happen. To invoke. Just pray. Pray means you don't have to really pray. Just come into the asana of praying, the posture of praying. In that posture, suddenly it will happen. There will be no time gap. Don't worry. At that moment it has to happen. Because you are ready for it. We are ready for it. It will come. If we are ready, He is just waiting to flow through us. The divine is waiting to flow. So in that moment, the divine will come down. That is Kunti Bhoj, the one who can invoke the divine. To invoke. हम कहते हैं कि अरे कुछ मेरा चलता नहीं है, जरा भगवान मुझे मदद कर दो, प्लीज हेल्प मी. ये कुछ नहीं चलता है तब करते हैं. दुख में सुमिरन सब करते हैं. These are very deep words. Kha means Akash and Dukh means to turn away from Akash. Sukh means Samyak Akash. Kha. It's not just Sukh or Dukh as we think Sukh or Dukh. So, he's saying at this point, just wait, come into the inner posture, come into the proper mudra, and the energies have risen up. That moment of awakening, that moment where I wake up from the hypnotism of life, from the psychological sleep of life, when that sudden experience of glimpse of waking up from the dream will happen, but it is not in my hands. Come into the right posture and let it happen. Kunti Bhoj. We'll stop over here. We'll continue tomorrow. When it happens, Shaibya means Shiv. When it happens, the whole body-brain system fills with that energy, that divine this thing. Shiv means splendor. Then you explode into majesty and splendor. The next one is Shiv Tattva. We'll stop over here. Thank you. Good night. Yesterday we talked about inner vision, how the five senses have two dimensions, one outward and one inward. What we can do is that most of us must have seen the photograph of Ramakrishna, where he's sitting cross-legged, right? And his eyes are just little open. But the eyes are not looking outside, they are looking at the inner divine fragment. Right? Now, the inner divine fragment is not different. Whether in you or whether in me, it is not different. Whether in Ramakrishna or in anyone, it's not different. So, if we can keep that photograph, say in our bedroom, so in the middle of the night or something, if we just wake up, and we can look into his eyes, then he is not looking at us, he is looking at his divine fragment, which is our divine fragment. Right? So if we can follow his gaze through his eyes, then the vision from out goes in. That is just one technique which we can use. Anyway, we'll go forward. We did Kunti Bhoj, Shaibya. Shaibya is Yudhishthir's father-in-law, Devika's father, Yudhishthir's wife Devika, his father. And there was something about Yudhishthir which was not, he was totally not of this world. So when many times when we look at our saints, say we look at the story of Rama or Krishna and all, many times they feel they are not of this world, they are of some other world. But if you read the life of Jesus, then Jesus is of this world, not of that world. He gets angry and, he can take a stick and hit people and, right, so there is some beauty in being just an ordinary person of this world, right? So that was missing in Yudhishthir, that small. And however much of sattva there is, there has to be a little bit of tamas and rajas to balance that sattva. There cannot be pure sattva. So the story goes that he had to tell a lie. And that makes him a human being. It makes him a human being. So, Shaibya, when we invoke, we wait for that observer to arise within us, to come from some other dimension of time and space. Then what happens within us, a kind of joy comes within us. We feel as if so much of splendor has come within us. Many things happen simultaneously within us. That is Shaibya. Yesterday we talked about will also. We said there is spiritual will, there is willpower. Willpower is of the ego. Spiritual will is of the real self inside. Now, how do we use will in our lives? How do we use will? Do you say, I want to have this? Then whose will is it? I'll say it is my will. I want to have this. If I don't get married to this girl, I'll get depression. Right? I want to have. But there is another will which comes from above. And that is his will, not my will. The whole idea was to invoke his will, to become a receptacle so that his will comes. But for that, we have to learn the art of pratiksha, how to wait, to allow his will to work. We don't allow, we are in a hurry all the time. So we don't really know that whether what we are doing, whether it is his will or not. But I want to do it, so I better do it. I want to make this factory, so better make this factory. Now there are many laws in life. Some, we started this lecture series, what do we say? Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. So what is dharma? What are the laws? At that time we took the natural laws. Natural laws of the eyes is to see, etc. Right? But there are some hidden laws in life. And those hidden laws, maybe if you read Jainism, then they talk of the 5 hidden laws. Not to steal, ahimsa, not to do violence. These are the hidden laws, right? But there are man-made laws, like income tax is a man-made law. I'm not saying steal on income tax, but it's a man-made law. It is not a natural law of life, right? So what is a natural law and what is a man-made law? So, supposing I'm doing one business. Now what do I need to eat in life? I need a couple of rotis in the afternoon, I need a few clothes to wear, or I need a shelter. So, supposing we divide our lives into 3 levels: my needs, my comforts, my luxuries. Now my aim is to walk on the path. So I want to save all my energy to walk on the path. Right? I don't want to waste my energy running around in being hypnotized by life. So, I must fulfill my needs. I may fulfill a part of my comforts, but supposing I say I don't want luxuries. I want to live a comfortable life, a good life. Right? I'm not saying that you go into the jungle and live in a grass hut or something. But I want to live a comfortable life, so I have my needs, I have my comforts, and maybe once in a while I may indulge, because the animal is still there inside of me. So I allow that animal a holiday sometimes, I don't keep him in discipline all the time. Sometimes I allow him to go to the movie or something. So I indulge in my luxuries sometimes. So needs, comforts, luxuries. then we relate this to the natural laws of life. What are the natural laws of life? So say I have one factory, I'm doing business. Now I want to put another factory. Now this one factory takes care of my needs, my comforts, and maybe a few luxuries, maybe even a little more. Now, do I need to have another factory? Right? So now, if you see, one of the laws of Jainism is achorya. Achorya means not to steal, right? Not to steal. So, I say, okay, now I want to expand my business. So I put another factory. Now at that time I have to see whose will was it. Was it my will or was it his will? If it was his will, then I have to wait. I have to wait, and in that waiting his will what we call come down. It will come into that gap. Avtar se, what we call in Hindi, what we call avtar in English? In English, avtaran, what? Can you remember the word? Anyway, वो अवतरण उसकी इच्छा की अवतरण होगी. और क्या होगा जब उसकी इच्छा अवतरण होगी? हम आनंद से भर जाएंगे. ये शैव्य है, आनंद से भर जाएंगे. We'll feel like as if Shiv has come within us, Shiva Tattva, splendor. And then we can go and make that factory. But supposing it is not his will, but it is my will, my willpower, anyhow, by hook or by crook, I want to make that factory, then what have I done? Somebody else could have made that factory, right? But I have stolen that, his karma I have stolen from him. Now, under any government laws, this is not stealing. It's not stealing, right? The government is not going to put you into jail for stealing. But under the natural dharma of life, I have stolen. I have raped his will by putting my will over there. So his will comes in pratiksha. My will comes in, I want to be fast. I'm in a hurry, right? So whether it is his will or my will. Like you see many doctors, they have hospitals and they're doing very well. But many of them have started having medical stores. Many of them start having medical stores. Now what is the need? If the need is to sell medicines at a very subsidized rate, still we can understand. But somebody else could have put up that medical store and he could have earned his bread for his family. But somebody has stolen that karma from himself. Right? So, life is very, very delicate. And when we move in life, we have to see whether it is his will or my will. And if we rape his will, don't allow his will to operate, then on some level we are breaking the dharma of life. Now, when his will comes in, there is real joy in life. There is not joy in making the factory. There is joy in allowing his will to work through us. To become a medium for his will to operate. So that is Shaivya, that Shiva Tattva. It is within all of us, but only if we do some pratiksha, we wait. Right? The next warrior is Yuddhamanyu and Uttam Ojas. These are brothers. These are Panchal princes. Now, these two princes were killed by Ashwatthama after the war when they were sleeping at night. They were sleeping at night. All Draupadi's children, her brother Drishtadyumna, and these princes, the rest of the Panchals were killed. Now this is very significant in the sense that in sadhana we create many habits, many good habits, many good energies we evoke inside, but after a certain level they are not needed. They are not needed. Then we are just flowing with the natural dharma of existence, of nature. Then what has led us, the stepping stones which we have taken to reach to that state are not needed. So then nature takes care, gets rid of all of them. So Ashwatthama comes and kills all of them in the tent. They are not needed any longer. Now Arjuna has reached where he is supposed to reach. Right? So similarly, for years we work to create all this, and at one time we do vairagya of this also. This also has to go. And then life just becomes a natural flow of his will. Our will does not come in anywhere. So these are the two Panchal princes, Yuddha, Manyu and Uttamojas. Now, Yuddha Manyu means one who fights with spirit. One who fights with spirit. Now, what links everything? What links? The divine fragment is there. The divine fragment has an instrument called Buddhi, through which it is like a crystal. The light belongs to the divine fragment, but when the light goes into the crystal, it takes on many colors and many forms, and it starts going. So the crystal is an instrument through which I take the light of the sun and I let it spread, or I let it concentrate, I diffuse it, etc. That is the Buddhi inside. So the first instrument which the divine uses is the Buddhi. The second instrument which the divine uses is the ahankar, the ego. Right? The Buddhi, the intelligence is the first one. The second one is ahankar, the ego. The ego. And the third is the manas. Manas means the astral brain. The astral brain. We'll go into all this, how these work. The working of each of them. And manas is connected with the 5 sense organs. Right? It works through the 5 sense organs. Now all this has to be connected by certain energies. The divine fragment has to be connected to the Buddhi. The Buddhi has to be connected to the ego. The ego has to be connected to the manas. The manas is connected to the 5 organs of the 5 sense organs, and then it has to be also connected to the 5 organs of action. All this has to be connected as a homogeneous whole, which we call the body-brain system. Now what links everything? What links everything? Prana links everything. Prana is the link between the divine. It is the bridge between the divine and the Buddhi, between the Buddhi and the Ahankar, between the Ahankar and the Manas. This is the link. And many times, not many times, in most cases we'll say that these links are broken, they are disturbed. These links are disturbed. Now, I have invoked that divinity inside. I have waited over there. So Kunti Bhoj means I waited in that asan. Shaivya means he has come and filled my being with his presence. His presence has filled my being, but I want to hold on to him. I don't want to let him go. What does Patanjali say? Alabdha bhumi katva anavasti tattvani. Failure to hold the meditative attitude after achieving it. Failure to hold. You achieve the meditative attitude, that you see the glimpse of, you glimpse the top of the mountain, but you can't hold it over there. And to hold it, the prana must be in rhythm and balance. That is why we do 3-step rhythmic breathing. As we progress further, we'll learn so many things. How to detach the bodies. So many things are there to be learned. But the minute you detach, if the prana is not in rhythm and balance, we come back with a bang. Right? So all this depends on on the prana. To hold that divinity inside, the prana has to be in rhythm and balance. So this bringing the prana into rhythm and balance is called pranayam. Pranayam, 3-step rhythmic breathing. Right? That is why Yuddha Manyu is control of prana, to control the prana. Right? Uttam Ojash. Uttam Ojash. Now, from sex energy, yesterday we saw Shukra and Virya. Shukra and Virya. But now something else has come. The divine presence has come within the body-brain system. And that divine presence mixes with Virya. It mixes with Virya. Virya now not only transforms, it transmutates. There's the law of transformation, the law of transmutation. See, I may take iron from the mine, right? And I take iron from the mine and I put it in a factory and everything and, make it pure, and then I mix it with certain other metals and I make an alloy called steel. And I say, out of this steel I make so many vessels, etc., etc. But it is still just transformation of that iron. That iron has not changed its intrinsic structure. The intrinsic structure of that iron has not changed. On the earth, there is nothing, the law of transformation is not of the earth. It is not a law of the earth. But in the sun, transmutation is happening every second. Every second. So if I say this iron I want to make into gold, it is not possible on the earth. I cannot change the atomic structure of iron from iron to gold. But in the sun, it is possible. In the sun, it is possible. So in the sun, iron will change into gold. Iron will change into gold. Now man discovered this secret of transmutation. With which energy did he discover this secret of transmutation? He brought the laws of the sun onto the earth. Which energy? Nuclear energy. By bombarding the atoms of that iron with nuclear energy, maybe it could change. Nuclear energy is not a law of the earth. It is a law of a higher order of the sun. And he discovered this secret, man, of how to bring the laws of the sun to operate on the earth. Similarly, within ourselves is the spiritual sun. We call the spiritual sun, right? We call him as Gayatri. Gayatri, we call that spiritual sun, not the sun outside. Everybody does Gayatri Mantra and think the sun outside. There's no relation to the sun outside. It is the inner sun, the spiritual sun. And this spiritual sun also sunrise and sunset. Right? When I wake up in the morning, there is a sunrise. The rays of that sun are called, what did we call them initially? Attention. That attention comes and it fills first my unconscious mind, my subconscious mind, and when it comes to the conscious mind, I get up. It gives energy to each and every small sanskar, small pattern. All the energies which are lying in my unconscious mind, suddenly they wake up early in the morning. All this happens because of the rising of that sun. Attention. Right? Similarly, the attention, when I go to sleep, it goes back, and slowly it goes back. When I reach into deep sleep, it has gone back into that spiritual sun, right? It has become sunset. And we also have this inner sunrise and sunset. And the secret of that inner sunrise and sunset is the Gayatri Mantra, right? So, this thing is Uttam Ojash. He has transformed his sex energy. Shukra में से वीर्य को अलग कर दिया. Detach the psychological part from the physical part. From the sperm, the psychological sperm has been detached. Because in English we don't have words to say all this. In Sanskrit, every word has a specific meaning. I'm just learning Sanskrit. I'm just learning because of my traveling. I do not get so much of time, but I'm just learning what a language Sanskrit is. What a language! It's unimaginable. Maybe if I have something to regret in my life, I did not learn Sanskrit. Right? So, in every word in Sanskrit means something he's pinpointing something definite. Shukra, Virya, we don't have in English. And then Ojas. Ojas means that in that Virya, the divine has entered. Now it is not just psychology. The psychology has mixed with the divine and it has become light. Inner light. So these are the two Panchal princes. They are Uttam Ojas and Yuddha Manu and Uttam Ojas. They are always near Yudhishthir. They are always guarding Yudhishthir's chariot. We've not yet come to exactly what Yudhishthir is. As we go ahead, we'll see it. Saubhadra. Saubhadra is Abhimanyu, Draupadi's son. Saubhadra means Kalyankari, which for the welfare of everyone, for the goodness of everyone. Saubhadra. many splendored. So means 100. Many splendid for everyone. That which brings good fortune. Abhi means with intensity. Abhi means with intensity. Manu means for the highest. Intensity for the highest. This 70 years is a very small time to do any kind of sadhana. It's too small. The Sikhs have a beautiful story of Guru Hargobind Sahib. Have we taken this story? Not taken this story. No? Many things get repeated. So I don't remember where I've said what. And some stories are so beautiful that you like to repeat them. And Guru Hargobind Sahib, when he had a disciple, the Raja of Saket Band. And this Raja, every year he used to go to Amritsar. Of course, in those days there was no golden temple. But Guru Hargobind had this camp in Amritsar. And the Raja was his disciple. And every year he would stay 1 week with the Guru. This was his, every year, the ritual of every year, to spend 1 week with the Guru. This year, when he was going to spend the time with the Guru, just before that, every night he was getting a recurring dream. And in that dream, he was a Raja, a king, but he was getting a dream that he was a Chandal, a downtrodden person. He was getting a dream that I'm a Chandal. And he lives his life as a Chandal, as children, and children have children, etc. And this dream was worrying him. He was saying, I'm a Raja, how can I have a dream as a downtrodden person? It's not possible. I can have a dream of being an emperor, but I can't have a dream of being a... So, the first thing he does when he reaches Amritsar, he asks for an audience with the Guru. So, the Guru refuses, that I won't meet you. So, next morning again he sends his man, okay, go and get the time of the Guru. Again, next morning, the man comes back and he says, the Guru has no time for you today. Third day again he sends his man, the Guru says, no time. Fourth day, before his man can go to the Guru's man comes to him and he says, the Guru today is going for shikar. And Guru Hargobind was very fond of shikar. Today Guru is going for shikar, would you like to accompany the Guru? Would you like to accompany the Guru? So, they went into the jungle for shikar. Now when they were doing shikar, he got lost somewhere. The Raja got lost. And he was following this stream and he comes to a point where there's a hut far away. And from that hut, one young child comes running. Oh, grandfather has come back from the dead. Grandfather has come back from the dead. So he's saying that it was a Chandal's hut. A Chandal's hut. And so his grandfather has come back from the dead. And then everybody gathers around him, and then his wife comes, my husband has come back from the dead, and nobody is leaving him. And he's saying, I am the king, I am not a Chandal. But they don't listen to him. They say, hey, you have come back. By then the Guru who is following, he comes. And then everybody sees the Guru, so they bow down to him and all that. So what is the problem? So he says that this person, our grandfather, has come back from the dead. So he says, he is not your grandfather. The one you burnt 2 days ago is your grandfather. This is the Raja of Saket Mandi. He looks like your grandfather. So then they went back. So as they were going back, the Guru asked him that, did you get the answer to your dream? So he says, no, I didn't understand. So the Guru says, your karma was such that you were supposed to be born as a Chandal. But the Guru can change karma. The Guru works, Guru does not work in our time, past and future. He works in eternity, the plane of time, directly in the plane of time. Many times I wonder, because with my Guru I always talked about what is going to happen tomorrow in the stock market. We never talked about all this yoga and all. And one day he left the body and suddenly all this started flowing. I was also wondering when it happened. But he puts it in. He works in a different dimension of time and space. So he says, because of the Guru you are born as a Raja. But you are born as a Raja, but who will fulfill that karma of a Chandal? So in your dream, you fulfill that karma of a chanda. In dream, time and space gets compressed. 70 years equals to 2.5 minutes of dream time. 70 years, one whole lifetime in 2.5 minutes of dream time. It's very, very important to work with our dreams. It's very important. Otherwise, we lose that one part of life where every night, even if we work for 10 minutes, we have done sadhana of 4 lifetimes. How much can we do in 70 years? Yoga is not for doing in 70 years. Yoga is for entering into that time and space where time and space compresses. And we learn very fast over there. Very, very fast. Abhimanyu learnt everything in his mother's womb. That intensity to learn. That is why Abhi means intense. Manu for the highest. He wants to learn for the highest. And it is very important because all of us are going to die one day. Science is not going to find, whatever science does, it may increase life with so many vitamins, but it's not going to find immortality. Not physical immortality at least. Right? And even if it does, it doesn't change anything. The quality of life remains the same. The quality of thought does not change. The quality of emotion does not change. So, at the point of death, what happens to us? At that moment when we are dying, you are talking about Vajroli Mudra. How do we die? How do we die? What is it that sends us on the journey after death? It is the Vajranadi. The Vajranadi is pulled, and like the arrow, we go into time and space. Vajranadi. So, what happens on that point of, what is the last thing that happens? If I've entered this room, I've entered through that door. Now if I want to go out, how do I go out? I have to go out through that door. There's no other way to go out.
People might jump out of window also.
Right, but here there's no window. You can only go out through the door you came. Yes, but still the process is the same. You have to go out of the door you came in. There is no other door. Right? In astrology they say time of death is the time of birth is the time of death. What do they mean? They mean the same door which you came in, the same door you go out. What does it mean? What does it mean? It means that at the point of death, everything unwinds. Everything unwinds. I buy a small toy from the market for my daughter, and she goes, wind, 70 years. Right? And then she puts the toy like that. The toy is 70 years back to where it began. But this took 70 years, this takes 2.5 minutes. Back to the door where you entered, go out. You get what I'm trying to say? Now, unless we have trained ourselves to work with dream time, that means my speed of perception is so fast that I experience those 2.5 minutes as 70 years. Speed of perception. It's like you're watching a cricket match and you're seeing the same thing in slow motion. Slow motion does not mean it was done at that time in slow motion. So you have to put the camera in such a way, the camera is the eyes, the inner eye, not the outer eye. Right? It has to be put in such a way that those 2.5 minutes which unwind, right? It is like 70 years. For that, I have to practice every night, no? Then I'll be able to do it at that time. If I say, okay, I have understood and I'll do it at that time, it is not possible. I have to practice every night. This practicing, this intensity of practice is Abhimanyu. Every night I say, why waste this time in dreams? Let me wake up in the dream. Let me wake up in the dream and let me practice in the dream. So at that point of death, when everything unwinds, I can change everything before I go. Consciously change. Oh, I had cancer, but I don't want to take this cancer with me. I don't want to take the pattern of cancer with me. Change it. Oh, I got angry on him. I did so much, but I don't want to take that hatred with me. I change it. One more chance. You still get one more chance, but that is after death. Okay, but within this you get one more chance, right? Within this life, but what do we have to remember in this? When we move from birth to death, it is a movement from young to old. But when the key unwinds, it is a movement from old to young. Everything happens the scenes happen in reverse time. They don't happen in forward motion, they happen in reverse time. It unwinds. A point of death comes back through the mother's womb out. Gone. Arthur Yanov had a very beautiful thing. I don't know if he's still living. I think he's just come out with one new book. Somebody's told me. I don't know. But one of his first book was The Primal Scream, where he used to take his patients back through time. He would use hypnosis and use techniques of remembering and try to make them remember the first scream when they came out of the mother's womb. And his theory was that a lot of diseases that we have are because the child is so comfortable in the womb and he has to face the shock of life coming out of the mother's womb. If I can take him back into that time, many diseases will be cured. And he achieved a great deal of success. And he will slowly take his patients back into reverse time. Somebody asked me yesterday, so I'll continue from here. I won't go ahead. How to do this? Now, how do we go about doing this? See, we cannot work with dreams when we go to sleep at night. Right? We have to work early in the morning when we are fresh. Now, let us try to understand. I'm just going, this is not a part of the Gita Jiva. I'm just going because one lady yesterday, she said that you better tell us how to do it also. So, I'll just give a small outline. When we go to sleep at night, the conscious part of the brain, which understands words and language and things, it starts going to sleep. So a point comes where there are thoughts, but the thoughts cannot become language. Right? So suddenly we see certain kind of images, and those images are on the screen of the brain. So like they follow the same law that, a TV screen follows. On a TV screen, what do we say? That this image is made up of pixels. What do we say? Pixels, right? Pixels are small dots. Small dots. And what is the resolution of the image? So we'll say the old computers had only 50 pixels, but now our new computers have 250 or 500. So there is better resolution of the same image, right? Similarly, when we go to sleep, the image, first the words stop, then the images come, then the images also start breaking down. And the pixels are there. These dots, what we see many times when we close our eyes, we see those dots that science calls as hypnagogic imagery. Hypnagogic imagery. And then we fall into a superficial level of sleep where we stay for about 5 minutes and then we go into medium sleep. Then in medium sleep we stay for about 15 minutes and then we go into deep sleep. Now the first time of deep sleep in the night, the first part of the night where I have deep sleep is always the longest and the best. Right? So it could be 40 minutes, it could be 1 hour maximum. Depends on how good a sleeper I am. Now after 40 minutes, I come back to medium level sleep. I stay there for a minute or two, and then I come back to superficial sleep, and the first dream of the night happens. What happens? Now these pixels again, they resolute into different images. Those images are projected in the brain, and I have the first dream of the night. Now science has helped me not science, nature has helped me over here, in the sense that it gives me something called sleep paralysis. Now, in a dream, when I'm within the dream, I start feeling all this is real. I interact with that as if it is real. But my movements don't confirm it. If somebody gives me a cup of tea in the dream, I'm sleeping on the bed, my hand doesn't go like this to take the cup of tea. But still, in the dream, I think I'm taking the cup of tea, right? Why doesn't my hand go up to take the cup of tea? Because there is something in the blood called sleep paralysis. I am paralyzed. Many times when you wake up in the night, we feel that I can't move my hand and body. It is a form of sleep paralysis. Nothing to worry about. Now this sleep paralysis is very important. Very, very important. Now, again after that, I go back into medium level sleep. I go back to deep sleep. But that first period of deep sleep, say, was for 40 minutes. The second period of deep sleep will be about 20 minutes. Where does this 20 minutes go in the next cycle? It goes into the dream. So the first dream was of 10 minutes. The second dream will be of 30 minutes. So as morning comes, the dream period is more, the sleep period is less. How he has written about this in a book. And the third is that hypnosis cannot reach to that level where the sanskars are. It is not possible. Then it would be very easy for anyone to change their sanskars. But to at a superficial level, the patterns can be changed. Now, again, what I'm trying to say from experience and from what I learned from my teacher is that anyone can enter into any thought. Thought is a case. So, supposing, for many years I was practicing Ouija. You've heard of Ouija board? A Ouija board. I had a beautiful Ouija board where, you put your hand and somebody else puts his hand and it moves and you ask questions and it gives answers. Planchette. Okay. And a time came when I started sensing all this, that what is happening in all this. And then I realized that we are not alone. There's an atmosphere around us. You see that we have 120 thoughts per second. And those thoughts some of them are acted upon. But most of them are just thrown out as exhaust. And we don't realize these thoughts. It could be anything. I may just have a deep, very deep, which even in my conscious mind I don't know about it. Or is very vaguely aware about it, about some religion or some community, some inner hatred or something. Right? And supposing I read in the papers that this riot has happened here or this has happened here, and immediately, without any this thing, I just throw out a thought of some kind of violence or something. Now all these thoughts which I'm throwing out don't think that they are just dead things. They have all the kleshas. Rag, dvesh, abhinivesh. They don't want to die. They want to live on forever. Abhinivesh means to live on forever. They are real people, those thoughts. When we do Jayadratha, I'll go into this science a little bit. So I found in that Ouija board, any passing thought can come and say that I am this person. It is not that person. And this happens all the time. And this is the problem in hypnosis. Dr. Brian Weiss thinks he's seeing the real thing, but it is some passing thought who's saying I am this person. So I'm not very much for that. It has nothing to do with the inner spiritual growth. But you can use self-hypnosis to induce a state of sleep paralysis. To induce a state of sleep paralysis, but try to rise above that. Don't get stuck with hypnosis. I've also worked a bit with hypnosis, and there have been many cases where I have seen that the mind is hypnotized, the body is hypnotized, it does everything the hypnotist says, but you are not hypnotized. Now, if he can teach his patients to do that, then it is consciousness. But if the eye is hypnotized with the hypnosis, then it is not. Anyway, we were on Abhimanyu. So, when the next dream starts, again that sleep paralysis has come after a period of 1 to 1.5 hours. This cycle takes between 1 to 1.5 hours. And it continues throughout the day. Say if I go to office, then around 11 o'clock I get an attack of sleep paralysis. So I'll say, let's go and have a coffee or something. I'll yawn a couple of times and I'll go and have coffee or something of that sort. Right? So this attack of sleep paralysis is every 1.5 hours. Now I want to use this attack of sleep paralysis. This whole art was Yog Nidra. But the problem was in our Yog Nidra has come mainly from the Brihad Aranyak Upanishad, where there are beautiful dialogues where Janak is asking Yagnavalkya, what is sleep and how to enter into sleep and what is the mystery of sleep and all that. And Yagnavalkya is, but he's talked all about the ultimate this thing, but what about the way to go there? They've not talked about it, right? So the way was described by the Tibetans. The way was described by the Tibetans. And the one who brought this Tibetan techniques out of Tibet was one Englishman called Evans Wentz. He has written a beautiful book called Tibetan Yoga and Secret Doctrines. Tibetan Yoga and Secret Doctrines. It's a beautiful book. And he's also very famous because he's written the Tibetan Book of the Dead. But the real book to read is this Tibetan Yoga and Secret Doctrine. We don't want to know after death, first how to prepare for death. So we read Tibetan Yoga and Secret Doctrines, right? So now, at this point, what do? I've learned this, so I get up early in the morning. I'm fresh in the morning. I get up early and I have to do something for 1 hour. So what do I do for 1 hour? I do my practices, I do my meditation, I do my mantra. It's always good to do a mantra before entering into conscious sleep. It activates the etheric body. Mantra activates the etheric body. So things start happening faster in the conscious sleep. So I do all this and then I put on the rhythmic breathing music and I try to relax the body into Yoga Nidra. Right? And I make a sankalp that I will wake up in the dream. I don't want to remain awake. I want to go to sleep. So the minute I go to sleep, the dream starts. If the dream starts, then I make a sankalp, means I visualize, I say it inside that I'll wake up in the dream. Now, there are many techniques in Tibetan yoga to wake up in the dream. How to wake up in the dream. I'll just talk of one technique. It is called the induction technique. You see, in the old days, we used to have, now we have digital clocks and all that, but we used to have that key clock. Now, in a digital clock, you can't have a clock which gives the alarm for, say, 2 seconds. It finishes its cycle of, say, 1 minute of ting, 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 right? But in the key clock, you could wind up only one key. So instead of the alarm ringing, tring, it'll go tring, right? Now, when you're in this dream state, it is still, there is some activity of the senses. You're not totally in deep sleep. Okay? So you decide that now I'm practicing this and around after 10 minutes I will be in the dream. Or after 15 minutes I will be in the dream. And you put a clock with say 2 rounds only. You'll have to find one from the Chor Bazaar or something. An old clock. And you put 2 rounds in the key. You wind 2 rounds. So what will happen? If it rings the full thing to ring, then you will wake up from sleep. We don't want to wake up. We want to wake up in the dream. Right? So you just go tring. So deep in the dream, you'll hear a tring, and you have already decided that when that comes, I will say, I am in a dream. So minute you say, I am in a dream, you wake up. Don't wake up from sleep. You wake up in the dream. For the first time in our lives, there will be an inner experience of what it means to wake up from a dream. This inner experience of waking up, it is a totally different experience. Till now, I was hypnotized by anger, but now I woke up. You get what I'm trying to say? This awakening, it is not just awareness. It is awareness plus awakening. Jagruti. Jagruti. मैं जाग गया. लेकिन अगर नींद टूट गया तो then जाग गया नहीं. Then just one dimension to another dimension. जागा नहीं है. रोज मैं कहता हूं कि मैं नींद में से जागा हूं, लेकिन कोई जागता नहीं है. नींद चालू हो और मैं जाग गया. You got what I'm trying to say? That is Jagruti. I woke up. Now, initially, don't do anything. Don't be in a hurry. For 3 months, don't do anything. First, learn Sthiram Sukham Asana. Just be there. Try to sense, who am I? Who is this I? It is not when we go to sleep, all the masks have gone. It is not the father, the husband, the child, the mother. It is not that I. Some other I, this is. Right? It is not Rajan, the label given. It is some other I. Try to sense that. It is a new sensitivity of I, something which I have not had before. And then just observe the dream. Then we can do many things with the dream. There's so much possible in that space. The thing is to wake up in the dream. That is the first step. That is why I said I'll take this technique. Somebody asked, who asked me yesterday in the evening? You asked me? Yes. How to wake up in the dream. That's why I took so long to say all this. Now, there will be many new laws over there. Right? Many laws of the earth are not operatable over there. In Gurdjieff's language, I have moved from 48 laws to 24 laws. Right? So, I'll say if I walk like this, I'll just bang with the wall. But in the dream, I won't bang with the wall. I'll go through the wall. If I say I want to fly, then I'll fly. Okay, before this, just let me say one thing which I forgot. I hope you're interested because we've diverged, we've gone away from the Gita. Okay. See, when you go to sleep on the right side. Don't go to sleep on the left side. Right? Go to sleep on the right side. So you're relaxing the body in Shavasana. You've come to a point where you know now you're going to go to sleep. Turn on the right side and go to sleep. What will happen? The left nostril will start working. If the left nostril will start working, the right brain will connect in that sleep. And if the right brain is our modem, a computer has a modem. What does that modem do? It connects me with all the computers in the world. A computer is a brain. So my brain is connected with all the brains in the universe. Right? It is a modem. Everything has a brain. If there's humanity on some other planet, there is a brain. Even the planets have brains. Yesterday we were talking about planets, just in the daytime. And like we have a physical body and an astral body, etc. And the planets also form physical bodies, astral bodies. And supposing now you have moved into conscious sleep and you want to go to see a planet, say you want to see Jupiter. Then how will you see Jupiter? You'll see him like you see in a telescope. You won't see it like you see in a telescope. You will see the astral form. You will see, and the astral form will be depicted like you've seen Greek mythology, where they have Jupiter sitting on a throne with a scale. It's all very symbolic. It is what he has seen in the astral that he has drawn and he's put over there. You get what I'm trying to say? So you're entering into a different time and space where so many things are possible. And this Abhimanyu did this for 9 months in his mother's womb. That is, when he came out of the womb, he already had all the knowledge. No need for him to go into the school or anything. Now, if we can practice this every day of our lives, we still say we have 15 years, 20 years, or whatever we have left. If we can practice this every day, then at the point of death, Once we go out, for some time we may not be aware of everything because things may be moving fast. But for at least 45 to 55 days after death, we spend in the dream world. And if we have practiced this, then for those 45, 55 days in between, we are awake. Because we have practiced over here. And if we've not practiced, there's no way we can be awake over there. And in those 45 to 55 days, in between, again we will relive all our sanskars. What happens at the moment of death? In 2.5 minutes it unwinds. Right? But that is only the events and the emotions of life are unwinding. But I have a whole experiential history, a whole emotional history within me. Right? Which is not a part of just, this life is only one small line of that. This life is only, there's a whole experiential history. Let's take it. That in my experiential history, they say there's a lot of anger. Right? So what happens? I live this 70 years, 75 years or whatever I live, and say in this 75 years, I have got angry 10,000 times. Say 10,000 times. So in that, what happens? All that 10,000 anger does not come with me. That 10,000 anger becomes one drop, like so many flowers become one drop of perfume. Right? I don't say all the flowers become, all the flowers are squeezed into one drop of perfume. Ark, usko kya bolte hain? The sense, right? So much of anger becomes one drop of anger and becomes a part of my whole experiential history of anger. We can call that as time body. This physical body goes, but in my time body there is anger for so long. And now one drop is added to that. Like we talked of sanskars yesterday. 1,000 and 1,001 we talked about yesterday. Adding one, subtracting one. Similarly, one drop has been added to that experiential body, that time body. Now, when I'm in the dream period over there, not only there, but every night also in my dreams, I am in that time body. I'm not in the physical body. I'm in that time body. So all this is coming to meet me. All this is coming to meet me. We are not interested in what is going to happen in the future. We are interested in who am I. Right? In who am I? What am I? How many layers of anger? How many layers of... What all is hidden inside this? Right? So, that anger will start coming up. And now I have another chance to deal with not one life's anger, but so much of anger. And here I am conscious. I can change it. And there is a whole science of how I pass this 45 to 55 days. But a lot of it is missing. So even if we read the Tibetan Book of the Dead, a lot of the chapters have changed. But still there is a lot of truth in what is written in that book. So we pass through these 45, 55 days. We have practiced in our dreams every night. The person who is reborn is not the same person who dies. He is a totally different person. So much has changed. The experiential history has changed. This is the eventual history which happens at birth. This is the experiential history. Everything can change. That is why Yog Nidra is very, very important. Very, very important. Start practicing tonight. So Abhimanyu is that Yodha who compresses time and space and enters into a new dimension of time and space and learns. Draupadeyascha, the sons of Draupadi, Sarva Eva Maharatha. We did what is Maharatha. Ardharati, Rati, Atirati, Maharathi. We did. Those that fight the inner sanskars, our inner sanskars are in 4 levels. Ichha, Kamna, Vasna, Trushna. 4 levels of inner sanskars. For that we have to create patterns which fight. So 4 levels. These are the Maharathas whom we talked about. Now, who are these sons of Draupadi? The 5 children of Draupadi who were killed by Ashwatthama. We talked about the 5 senses and the 5 tattvas. Panch Mahabhut. So, We said that the Pandavas were the sensitivities, the energy of sensitivity. Sadhana always starts from the moving from sensitiveness to sensitivity. That is why a person moves in the jungle initially, right? So that he develops his sensitivity. He's not bothered about sensitiveness. I see your bungalow, I get into sensitiveness. Also, I want to have a bungalow like that. Somewhere deep down it is there. I see a beautiful tree in the jungle, I don't say, also I want to have this tree. Right? So, that is sensitivity. I enjoy the tree. Now, what is sensitivity? We'll have to go deeper into this. And what are the 5 tattvas? The first is Sahadev. Sahadev means one who walks with the gods. One who walks with the gods. Prithvi. Prithvi has all the other tattvas. So everything lies in Prithvi. That is why he walks with the gods. That is why he walks with the gods. Now this Prithvi tattva is in a small chakra in our etheric body called the Mooladhar. What does it mean? What is the Mooladhar? It is a brain which decodes Prithvi. It is a brain which decodes Prithvi. Now what is Prithvi? Prithvi is the earth. That Prithvi has nothing to do with the earth. Nothing to do with the earth. When science is looking at elements, see, I'm going deep into each child. I hope you all are with me. Otherwise I can go ahead. Because it's all very serious stuff. When science looks at the elements, it is looking at the outer element. Spirituality is not concerned with the outer element. Spirituality is concerned with the psychology. How to change the psychology. Transformation, transmutation. So it says that everything is made up of these 5 tattvas. And 3 gunas. But we won't see the gunas. Later on we will see that these 5 tattvas are nothing but 3 gunas. But that we will see much later on. First we'll understand what it means to be 5 tattvas. So, what happens when I see a tree from outside? What is coming in? So, yesterday we took that sutra of Patanjali. Prakash Kriya Sthiti Bhut Indriya Atmakam Bhoga Apavarga Artham Drashyam. That what I am seeing outside is made up of 5 elements and the 3 gunas. Prakash Kriya Sthiti, 3 gunas. Prakash Kriya Sthiti, Bhut Indriya. Bhut means 5 Mahabhut related to the Indriyas, related to the 5 senses. Now, each tattva has a psychological significance. Tattva will have a psychological significance. Now, we are sitting here, you will say we are sitting on the earth. Right? But the Rishi will say you are not sitting on the earth. That may be just science that you are sitting on the earth, but this feeling of support, that something is supporting you, it is a psychological feeling. It has nothing to do with this earth. Even though the laws follow the same earth. You get what I'm trying to say? This feeling of support is there, that something is supporting me, is Prithvi. Is Prithvi. You get what I'm trying to say? Or supposing I have a big loss in my business or something. So then I seek support from my friends. I say, somebody support me, somebody help me out. Or I may seek support from the bank or something. What tattva is in imbalance within me? Prithvi. I am seeking support. Right? Now you get it. It is a psychological element. It is not a physical element. Now each element has a whole spectrum. Each element has a whole spectrum. You can't say Prithvi will support only. Now Prithvi has another characteristic to attract. It attracts, right? Gravitation. It attracts. Now this is a natural law of Prithvi. So it attracts. So I'll say, I am attracted to my girlfriend. Right? I am attracted to this girl. Or I am attracted to this book. Or I am attracted to this guru. So that attraction is the law of Prithvi. Which element? What is happening? I am seeing the guru. that image is coming in and the Mooladhara is decoding Prithvi. I am attaching the I to the attraction and I am saying I am attracted. Am I coming across? Is something getting a little clear what I am trying to say? Because what happens, you see, many times, you put on the TV and then somebody is saying, Lobh se mukta ho or isse bhi mukta ho, It is not possible. How is it possible? How is it possible? See, attraction is a natural law of Prithvi. If the I attaches to attraction, it becomes lobh. I understand, it becomes greed, right? He has to teach you how to detach the I. You cannot suppress the natural law of attraction. वो तो पृथ्वी का नियम है. It is the natural law. You get what I'm trying to say? So each element has a whole spectrum of natural laws. Say I feel happy, I laugh, happiness is there. So wherever, this is again Prithvi. It is again the earth element. It is making me happy. So if I'm feeling sad or I'm feeling down, then if I go for a long walk, and in that walk, supposing I keep my attention on the soles of my feet, I don't have to walk barefooted. This is all psychological stuff. So you don't have to walk barefooted. So you keep your attention and suddenly I start feeling happy. I was feeling sad and I am feeling happy. Where have I got these vibrations of happiness? From the earth. The Prithvi gives that. Resistance. Yesterday we said Drishtaketu, one who resists. The one who resists. Right? It doesn't allow this seduction of attention. Drishtaketu, resistance. Again a law of Prithvi. You will say, come for a movie. चलो ने आज तो चलो ने अभी कल एक्सरसाइज एक दिन नहीं करेगा तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है? You will say, चलो ने चलो. So I will resist. This resist, which the Mooladhara is decoding Prithvi. It has decoded so, but the I is attaching to resistance. Right? So this is Sahadev. Suppose, is the I free to attach, or is the I forced by certain patterns? Does he consciously attach, or does it happen automatically? In our lives, I see a shirt in this shop, and I like that shirt. So, does the I say, hang on, I can be happy of the shirt. Prithvi has so many possibilities. Which one do I want to attach to? Does he have the choice? He does not have the choice. He automatically says, I am attracted. Right? That is because of the sanskar. Something within wants to repeat and it attaches the I automatically to that. But as we develop consciousness, and these are only few of the characteristics of Prithvi I have told you. As we develop consciousness, we come to a point where we can attach the I to any of this thing. Am I getting clear? I come and see your house. It's a very beautiful house. Now, the minute that house, the image of that house starts moving up my spinal column, incoming impulse, now Mooladhara takes out Prithvi and it decodes it into all its possibilities, which are so many. But my I, because of certain old sanskars, only attaches to attraction, lobh. I say, I also want to have a house like this, right? But then Prithvi has so many possibilities. The I is not free just now to attach to any. It says, no, I don't want lobh, but I want happiness. So I enjoy your house maybe more than you enjoy your house. Right? I'm not attached to wanting your house, but I enjoy your house. Right? Then I don't want to own your house or own a house similar to your house. Now you get what I'm trying to say. That is a conscious action. There is a conscious action. The I attaches to whichever decoding it wants to attach. Mooladhara has decoded everything. Am I clear on this point? Now how does this happen? So Sahadev is that Mooladhara chakra, the Prithvi element, But when he marries Draupadi, the sex energy, when it rises up over there, through that marriage a son is born. The name of that son is Shrutasen. Shrutasen. Shrut means to hear. To hear. Now, he out of all these possibilities, now the eye can choose which one he wants to hear or which one he wants to attach to. These are the sons of Draupadi. The sons which have been formed by the transformation, the marriage of the chakra with sex energy. That marriage of the chakra with sex energy. The first one is Shrutasen. We'll take each one. And if you're not interested, then we'll leave this and go to the next sloka. It doesn't matter. I mean, whatever you all feel like doing. Because then we'll have to take Jal, Tej, Vayu, Akash there. Right? Whatever you feel like doing. We'll stop here. Our time is over. And we'll meet in the evening at 6:30 and go further ahead from there. So, thank you. Good evening. There was one question that I should again repeat about conscious sleep. Sleeping brain, conscious mind. To put the brain to sleep, the mind attaches to the brain. To separate the mind from the brain. That is the whole idea of conscious sleep. Sleeping brain, conscious mind. So, I won't explain everything which I did in the morning, but again I'll repeat that we get up early in the morning. And for 1 hour we have to do something. So it would be better if we do our exercises. Then after we have done the exercises, we do some mantra, because mantra, it has an effect on the etheric body, and the dreams which are going to come to us, they will be activated, they'll move faster because something has been activated in the etheric body. So we do some mantra and then we relax each part of the body like we do in ordinary yoga nidra, shavasana. Try to breathe with the music. Try to breathe with the music. श्वास म्यूजिक के साथ चालू रहना चाहिए, लेकिन श्वास बिल्कुल सूक्ष्म हो जाएगी. The breathing will become very, very subtle. Slowly it will become very subtle. But the speed and the rhythm will not change. It may become subtle, it may become shallow, but the speed and rhythm will not change. And at one point, try to go to sleep When you go to sleep, turn on the right side and go to sleep. Now before going to sleep, make a sankalp inside, make a wish inside, a deep wish, that I will wake up in the dream. I will wake up in the dream. Now, if you cannot do any mantra, even an ordinary humming will do. Even for 5 minutes you do some humming, even that will do. One very what you call secret form of yoga is what we call as lay yoga. This can only be taught by the guru to the disciple. It cannot be taught generally to anyone. In all other yogas, we try to increase consciousness. In lay yoga, the guru teaches the disciple how to become unconscious. For that, there is a special pranayam called murcha. Right? Murcha. There's a special pranayam called murcha, which the guru teaches the disciple to use that pranayam and go into deep unconsciousness like he has gone into deep sleep. But the guru has taught the disciple a special form of humming. So he does that pranayam, and as he is going into unconscious, he does a special kind of humming, and that humming is a string of consciousness. So he becomes unconscious, but in that deep unconscious state, he wakes up, and he is already in samadhi. This is one of the shortest cuts. But it is not taught generally. It can only be taught by the master to the disciple. Similarly, we are doing something similar, but at a more safer level. We don't want to do murcha. We are doing at a more safer level. We are going into the dream and waking up in the dream. We don't want to become unconscious. Now there are many techniques to wake up in the dream. The first one is that I must decide to wake up in the dream. Now, there are so many techniques. We will talk about one or two techniques. During the day, at any time, try to visualize that I am in a dream, that I am lifting this, I am in a dream. Don't say it mentally, don't make it a thought. Visualize, sense it, that this is a dream. This is made of dream material. Uske liye I used to do one exercise. I would sit on my balcony and I would watch people walking on the road, or I would watch cars moving on the road. And as the people walk, I would visualize that they had become big, they had become small, they had become big, they had become small. Or if the car is small or the car is moving, it has stopped. So what happens? In the dream, anything can happen. So try to visualize that life is a dream. For that, you have to move into the laws of the dream. In the laws of the dream, this can fly also. Here it cannot fly. Right? So I have to visualize that it is flying. It is just a dream. You get? Now, if I can practice that 4 or 5 times in a day, then at night when I'm seeing the dream, say this is a dream and you are awake in the dream. Right? So that is another technique. Another very, very famous technique which has been used by many dream researchers in the West is it's called the mnemonic technique, the watch technique. It is to wear a watch. And in the day, about 20-30 times you see the time in your watch. And every time you see the time in your watch, you say in the dream there will be no watch. In the dream there will be no watch. This is a very easy technique because it works very fast. Mnemonic, you heard the word mnemonic? M-N-E-M-O-N-I-C, mnemonic. Mnemonic is something which induces memory, which makes you remember. In India, we had a system of teaching from guru to disciple. It was called the sutra form. The sutra is something which is so mnemonic. It is small, but the minute the disciple says it, so many things are remembered just by saying that sutra. Similarly, this is a mnemonic to remember. I remember. So every time I see my watch, oh, it's 7:21. When I'm in the dream, there will be no watch. Right? Now, the minute the dream starts, and in the dream, suppose because I'm looking at the time 20 times a day, I will immediately in the dream try to look at the time, but I have said there will be no watch. So I'll say there is no watch. I must be in the dream. You see, these are different techniques which we can use to wake up in the dream. One I gave in the morning of the alarm clock. The one I have used most frequently is the alarm clock. Right? For a number of years, I used to keep an alarm clock where I would wake up every 1.5 hours in the night. You don't have to do that. And I would go back to sleep saying that I will wake up in the dream. I want to come to this mystery. What is sleep? What is the meaning of sleep? So, these are many techniques, right, which we can use for Yoga Nidra. Go into Yoga Nidra. Now, Yoga Nidra means visualizing each part of the body has become paralyzed. I visualize my legs, I relax them, they become paralyzed. I visualize. There are many cassettes of Shavasana available. Many cassettes of. You can use them for a few days to help you. And you come to a point in the brain where the whole body has gone into sleep paralysis and you start feeling sleepy. You turn on the right side and go to sleep. Now, any questions on this? We'll continue where we left. Do we think our thoughts, or are our thoughts, or do our thoughts think us? Do we think the thoughts, or do the thoughts think us? Thoughts think us. Right? Are our thoughts our thoughts?
Many times, whatever impulse, whatever reaction we have had in our life, or the impact of others also.
Now, if we can realize the activity of these subtle brains inside, we talked a little bit about Mooladhara in the morning, then we will realize that these thoughts are just decoding of something which has come inside. So there are so many thoughts, and I can decide which thought I want to say is mine. It is not mine. No thought is mine. But the I can attach itself to whichever thought it wants. Now, for that, what must be there? What must be there? There must be a gap between the formation of the thought and the attachment of I. There must be a gap between the formation of the thought and attachment of the I. You see? And we must be able to sense that gap and to hold that gap, and in that gap we decide which thought we want to identify with, which thought we want to make our own at that point. What happens is that before we know it, the I has already identified with some thought. It has attached itself to some. This is called as reaction. This is sleep. It is not a conscious action. All our actions are in sleep. They are not conscious actions because we do not decide which thought we want. Now we are going into how these thoughts are being made. We are going into each level of that. The first one we saw was Mooladhara, with the marriage of Draupadi with Sahadev. Now each thought can have is an electrical charge. Each thought has an electrical charge. It can be either positive or negative. The charge can be either positive or negative. Now we saw that the earth has the decoding of Mooladhara of the earth tattva can mean so many things. One of them we saw was resistance. Now, I can resist my attention being seduced somewhere. But if somebody is trying to help me and tell me something good, I can resist that also. Then the same resistance becomes negative. You get what I'm trying to say? Both have come from Prithvi. See, the negative color of Prithvi is yellow. It is yellow. When we have jaundice, our eyes become yellow. Right? That is the negative color of Prithvi. So, we saw that Prithvi gives a sense of security, a sense of satisfaction, a sense of happiness. The next chakra is Swadhishthan, and when Draupadi marries Nakul. Now, Nakul, one who is of no kul, who is free from all conditioning. The one who is free from all conditioning. When the Kundalini Shakti rises and pierces the Swadhishthan chakra, suddenly we find that we are free of all conditioning. And main conditioning that happens in our life is sexual conditioning. The first day we talked about Stri Purush, the psychological male and the psychological female. To be free. Shikhandi is that Yodha who is free from psychological male and psychological female. He has risen above. Right? Similarly, when this Kundalini Shakti pierces the Swadhishthan, we drop all conditioning. No conditioning remains in our life. That does not mean that we start having free sex. We become free of sex. Otherwise, many gurus take this to mean free sex. Nakul. Right? It does not mean that. It means to be free of sex. Right? So, it can be interpreted in many ways. Right? Now, Swadhishthan is the Jal Tattva. The Jal Tattva. Apas. When we study Vaisheshik, they have a sutra, Apasyandanam. Syandanam means that which flows. Jo behta hai. Jo behta hai. It flows. Pani, behta hai. In life, when we are not, obstinate, when we are not obstinate, there is a feeling of flowing in life. We don't get caught up in any form of any philosophy or any idea or any, this thing. And that feeling comes from this Swadhishthan decoding what has been seen as the Jal Tattva. Now, everything in life is made of 5 Tattvas. It does not mean this is solid, that there is no Jal Tattva in this. As I am touching this, the Swadhishthan is decoding the Jal Tattva in this, the Apas Tattva. Right? I could be either way. Yeah, either way. आप कहेंगे कि क्या खाना है आज? तो जो भी आप बनाएंगे हम खा लेंगे. Either way. It is open. This is the feeling of Jal Tattva. Right? Okay. Now, we celebrate the season of harvesting. We celebrate the season of harvesting. I think in Punjab they call it as Baisakhi, right? The season when it is harvest, the corn is harvested. Right? So, for anything to ripen, that feeling that something is ripening, something is going to happen. I have worked so hard to make this factory, and now it is just on the verge of, working out, or I've worked so hard for this. There is a feeling of ripening. The tree ripens and the fruit ripens. Everything that ripens in life is because of Jal Tattva, Apas. It is that Jal Tattva. So I have a feeling that, something is maturing inside. Oh, I have got it. This is the exact box which I wanted. I didn't want one smaller than this. I didn't want one bigger than this. There's a feeling of ripening inside that comes from the Swadishtan taking the Jal Tattva. But this feeling is a rus. I'm taking rus in life. I'm tasting life in a certain way. I'm tasting life and it could be negative. It can be negative. Right? It can be negative in the sense that I may feel like, putting down someone or doing kutli of someone. What do you call it in English? चुगली करना नहीं, चुगली करना नहीं, किसी को निंदा करना. Not just to criticize, but in that criticism I get a kind of inner taste where I enjoy criticizing somebody. There is an enjoyment in that criticism. So it is the same feeling of ripening, but it is a negative feeling. Yeah, 5 people are talking about someone, right? And they are talking negatively about someone, but I know one secret of that person which nobody else knows. मुझे उसका कोई secret आता है जो किसी को नहीं पता है. I know. So then if I say it over there, there is this inner feeling that I want to say it, I want to tell it over there. That is a kind of ripening, but a negative form of ripening. Water contracts. Contraction is the power of water. Right? And many times in life I contract. I may have a feeling of inferiority. I contract. Right? Or somebody lifts a stick like this. I contract. Or I see a snake on the road. I contract. But whenever desire comes into me, whenever desire for anything, there is a kind of contraction. I want. There is a kind of every desire has its basis in a contraction of the Jal Tattva. If I can come to a stage, not exactly control, where I rise above apas, where I rise above the Swadishtan, then desires start falling in my life. Then I'm slowly free from desires, not desire energy, but desires. So every desire is a contraction. Now there are different forms of depression, and one of the forms of depression is a feeling of melancholy. What will we call it? Rejection. In the sense that, sometimes I listen to old songs, so I feel nostalgic. So that nostalgic feeling is very good. But after some time I feel sad. I feel a little sadness. That sadness is the negative part. Not self-pity, not self-pity. Self-pity is something totally different. Sadness. It's a kind of inner sadness. Sadness, what is it? Sadness Hindi में क्या होता है? उदास. एक किस्म का उदासीनता. एक किस्म मैं करता हूँ सब, लेकिन एक किस्म का मेरे में उदासीनता है. That kind of thing. Endurance. प्रतीक्षा नहीं, to endure. आप गाली देते हैं, आज मुझे you tell me something. कल भी आप गाली देंगे, परसों भी आपको गाली देंगे. But water endures. It dissolves everything. Water dissolves. I can endure. I'm not solid. रोकना है उसको. I'm not पृथ्वी नहीं है. I'm free. I'm flowing like water. Okay, रोज दो, कोई तकलीफ नहीं है. मैं अपने तितिक्षा में बैठा हूँ. I can endure. Water is a kind of endurance, the power of endurance. The power of dissolving, and the power of dissolving can be positive and negative also. Can be positive and negative. Next will come when the son which was born to Nakul and Draupadi, his name was Shat Anik. The one who can kill 100 warriors. Shat means 100. And Anik means to kill, the one who can kill the 100 warriors. Now we saw in the beginning that these 100 Kauravas, what are they? They are temptations which create desires in me. I desire to, these are different qualities of temptations. Now if if the Kundalini Shakti has risen into Swadhisthana Chakra, then the fruit I get of that is that I rise above all desires. Not yet against temptations. The temptations create the desire. But now I am free from the desire. The temptation is there. It's like, have you seen a pendulum? Pendulum, I don't have one here, otherwise I will show it to you. Now the pendulum goes like this, right? So now here, when the pendulum comes here, I am tempted. But then the pendulum moves from here and I say I want. The desire is created. Right? Temptation is Kaurav. From that, the desire is created. He is not the one who is going to kill the 100 Kauravas. You see? But out of that temptation, desire arises. Shat Anik. He is the one who will kill the 100 desires inside. You get what I'm trying to say? So, when life is dead, there is no movement. A dead body does not move. There is no movement. Right? And when life is at its highest, there is maximum movement. A young child, all the energies are moving faster in him. But by now, half the energies have stopped moving, right? Okay? Now, when is the pendulum dead? No movement. When it is at the extreme. इसमें कब zero गति कब होती है? When it is at the extreme. And when is the pendulum fastest? In the middle. It is fastest in the middle. आपने सुना होगा शायद. Somebody asked Buddha, what is your way? He said, my way is the middle way, Majjhim Nikaya. Now what does he mean? The middle way means what? The middle way. What does the middle way mean? Right? So now, what happens? I am tempted. The pendulum has come here. Temptation means no life. Zero movement. There is no this thing. And from temptation is born desire, no life. You get what I'm trying to say? Temptation, desire, satisfaction, again temptation, new desire, satisfaction or dissatisfaction. Right? This is how our life moves, or does it moves in this way, or it doesn't move? Okay, at any time, at any single moment in life, where is the pendulum? It is always at one extreme. Tomorrow I have to finish so much work in the office. Right? It is always at one extreme. The whole art of life is to come in between. So, what is this warrior Shat Anik? This warrior Shat Anik. Here the temptation has come, but before the desire comes, he stands in between. He's standing, doesn't allow the pendulum to go to the other extreme, doesn't allow the desire. For that, there must be very fast perception, the speed of, otherwise the pendulum is fastest over here. You get what I'm saying? There must be very fast perception. He stands in the middle. He's standing there, and in the middle it is very difficult to stand, because you have to be absolutely free of any thought. At that, the minute a thought comes, the pendulum will move to the other extreme. This is the whole art of meditating. Not to sit like this, but as soon as temptation comes, come in the middle. Don't let the desire. Now, if the desire is formed, then don't let it go to satisfaction, dissatisfaction. Come in the middle. This is the way, in the way. So, this is, that second warrior is Shat Ani. The third chakra is Manipura. We said the Pandavas were the sensitivities of each chakra. So, energy of sensitivity, marrying, sex energy, these children are born. Energy of sensitivity, man. Third one is Manipura. Let us see the different sensitivities of Manipura. Manipura is the sun. It can give energy. It can give energy. Fire has two forms, Tejas and Agni. Fire has two forms, Tejas and Agni. What does it mean? What does Tejas mean? You are all students of meditation. Tejas means to see. Tejas means to see. Agni means to digest. Agni means to digest. To see and to digest. These are the two forms of fire. What happens when the food is digested? Energy. Yeah, sorry. Now let us go a little further than this. Not just seeing, but what will you say? I have seen it properly. What will you say? I have seen it properly. I have understood it properly. What he is trying to say, or what she is trying to say, or what this movie, what message it is trying to convey, I have understood properly. That understanding is a function of fire itself. Now there is a negative side also, right? The negative side is that I want to indulge. मुझे भोग करना है, right? आप समझते हैं कि आप कहेंगे कि there's a very good movie, बहुत अच्छा पिक्चर लगा है, और मैं चलता हूँ आपके साथ, चलो पिक्चर में जाते हैं, and we see the movie. Now I also enjoy the movie also. I enjoy the movie. But when I come out, am I feeling full of energy or am I tired? I am tired. Let's take another example. Supposing you all say, chalo, aaj ek peg ho jaye. So we'll say, ek peg ho jaye. तो peg पीते शायद I feel good and high and all that. But when the peg is over, do I feel tired or do I feel full of energy? Hangover? So I feel something has burnt up inside me. Something inside me has burnt up. However good the movie was, however good the picture was, but on seeing that movie, something has burnt up inside me. Similarly, after drinking so much of alcohol, something has burnt up inside me. Or if I smoke a cigarette, then something, it's not just a cigarette, something else is burning up inside me. In any form of indulgence, whether it is sex, it could be any form of indulgence. It could be drugs, it could be anything. Any indulgence, आप समझते हैं? भोग. Any form of indulgence leaves a burn inside. That is fire, negative fire. Right? How do we counter it? The best way to counter any imbalance of fire is alternate breathing. Best way to counter. Minute you are feeling something is burnt up inside. Aaj, what do we call it? Aaj, मेरी सब शक्ति खत्म हो गई. Sit down for 2 minutes and do alternate breathing. Now the son which is born to Arjun, and Arjun is not exactly Manipur chakra. He is something else, but I'll come to that. When we are talking about Manipura, I mean the other chakra also. But when we take Karna, because Karna is Manipur. Karna is Manipur. Solar, son of the sun. Right? But Arjun is something else. A small chakra nearby Manipur which is called Kundli. But because both are fire, I have not taken them as differently over here. But when we do Karna, I'll separate them and take them differently. So now the son of Arjun and Draupadi is Shrutakarma. Now if I have won over anger, if I have won over indulgence, if I can see properly, if I have the power to digest any form of pain or anything, this thing, then whatever karma I do will be a very pure karma. The action will be right. But if I cannot digest, you give me a gali and I cannot digest that gali, then I will react. And reaction is never right action. Reaction is never right action. But if I can digest that gali, wo bhitar digest ho gaya, and then from there will be an understanding. I have understood why he said this gali to me, why he said this to me, these words to me. That feeling of understanding, tejas comes in. Digestion, Agni has come in, and then Shruta Karma is right and pure action. Shruta. Next will be Anahata. Anahata is Bhim, Vayu. Vayu, that which goes and that which comes. He is the sensitivity of feeling, the sensitivity of going and coming. All this is Bhim, and that sensitivity marries with sex energy. Now let us see what is this thing in Vayu. I can't sit. I am restless. I am restless. Many children are hyper. Many children are hyper, especially in this age. They are really hyper. Handful children, right? So, which tattva is in imbalance? Vayu. There's an overdose somewhere. Overdose of Vayu somewhere, right? My son, I've never had to say anything. Do this, do that, never. But daughter doesn't sit for a single moment only. And problem is that when I was young, I had a son, and when I've grown old, I've had a daughter. So more grey hair. Right? If it was opposite, then it would be easy. Right? Anahat. What comes with wind? A feeling of lightness. A feeling of lightness. You tell me some nice words, I feel airy, I feel light. You say, your lecture was very good, I feel light, I feel airy inside, right? But it can be negative also. In this moment, I may have to sit silently and sthir, right? Sthir means not I force myself, but I relax into the moment. But I can't relax because Vayu is in imbalance, right? Now, my friend was just discussing one small point with me in the car. So, in yoga, we have one sutra called Abhav Pratyeya Alambana Vritti Nindra. Abhav Pratyeya Alamban Vritti Nindra. There is a feeling of abhav, something is missing. Something is missing. My son has gone to America to study. Something is missing inside. You get what I'm trying to say? Something is missing inside. And there are different kinds of abhav, but we won't go into all those kinds of abhav. Right? Now, when there is no wind, absolutely not a single leaf is moving. At that time, there is a feeling that Srushti mein kuch abhav hai. You get what I'm trying to say? Something is missing. This feeling of missing inside is because of Vayu. I miss. But we identify. So, abhav pratyay alam, when we identify, what is the vritti created? Sleep. Abhav pratyay alamban vritti nindra. This feeling of abhav. But I say, I am feeling this. That is nindra. A small dose of daya. Daya means pity. I feel a little pity in moderation. Is because of Vayu. But when I feel too much of pity, I can't control myself. Too much of sympathy I feel, then it is Akash. But a small dose of this. Sometimes I feel dizzy. Dizzy, you understand? when I get a shock, or I see something and I feel dizzy, or if I'm seeing the TV and suddenly we see that, a tsunami has happened and so many lakhs of people have died in the tsunami, and we feel a little dizzy inside. Again, this is Vayu. And it happens when somebody, throws an arrow at me, calls me some name which hurts me, suddenly like this. That is, again, Vayu. I'm suddenly hurt by something. What do we do when Vayu is in imbalance? I feel dizzy, or I faint, or I fall down. We increase the earth tattva. We give him some smelling salt. Increase of earth tattva. Again, it comes into balance. Imbalance of Vayu, increase the earth tattva. Imbalance of Tejas, I have a fever, increase Jal tattva. This is how Ayurveda goes, right? I have a fever, increase Jal tattva. Drink more water, the fever flows out, right? Vayu extends throughout the body to the fingertips. It can go from me, avagaman, right? Going and coming, right? The wind goes, the wind comes, right? So I can give it to somebody else. That is why all these pranic healing and Reiki and etc., they are all dependent upon this one tattva. Now, Bhim marries Draupadi, and you can understand that Bhim is so soft because that Vayu, the balance it's on the fingers, his hand must have been so soft and nice. The son born to them was Shuddha Som. Shuddha Som. When prana and sex energy mix inside, it gives a kind of inner divine satisfaction inside. It gives you're always satisfied. It always gives a form of inner divine satisfaction. That is, if you have risen above. Now the Anahat Chakra again is in two parts. We will take those parts later on. One is negative, one is positive. All that we'll take later. Finally, the last tattva is Vishuddhi, Yudhishthir, Akash tattva. थोड़ी और गहराई में चलते हैं. तीन गुण सब समझते हैं. तमस, रजस है, सत्व. My guru says that in the beginning there was only Chitti Shakti. If you read his book, Purpose of Birth and Death, he says in the beginning there was only Chitti Shakti. He calls it the state of inky darkness. State of inky darkness. Nothing was there. Now in that state of inky darkness, what was there in that Chitti Shakti? There were three forces. But you could not identify which force was which force. Right? And wo Chitti Shakti mein a drop fell, a seed fell. A seed. Or that womb of Chitti Shakti was impregnated by the sperm of Shiva. Shakti was impregnated by Shiva. This is how the story goes, right? So that disturbed the rhythm and balance. And what was that drop which fell in? That was his desire, his sankalp, कि सृष्टि निर्माण करना है. We want to make the universe, right? Now you want to make the universe. So what happens? This state of the three forces in rhythm and balance must be broken, because if they remain in rhythm and balance, there is nothing. Just inky darkness. There is nothing. They must lose their rhythm and balance. So how is the rhythm and balance lost? One force will say, okay, you want to make, I will make. So we will call it as Rajas, the one who makes, the maker, the one who makes, jo banata hai, usko hum kehte hain Rajas, active. He is always very active, right? Then, but what to make with? Ghar to banana hai, par patthar kahan hai, cement kahan hai, chuna kahan hai? Where do I get all that? I'll make my home. Right? I need the bricks and etc. The cement and all that. So where do I get that from? So another force will come out of that rhythm and balance and say, you want to make, I am willing to be made. You use me. ये खेल है. सृष्टि का इसको लीला कहते हैं. ये खेल है. एक कहता है कि चलो, I am willing to be made. That is tamas. She does not do anything. She does not do anything, but he molds her in whichever way. And everything is made, the whole. But how is it made? Who relates the two? Who decides how much of this and how much of that? So then the third force comes out, which is called Sattva. Everything in the universe is the three forces. Now try to just be with me because it's a little difficult to understand. Now these three forces, they make the whole universe, but it is from subtle to gross. हम कहेंगे स्वहलोक बनाया तो स्वहलोक तो बहुत सूक्ष्म है, very subtle. The electronic universe is very subtle. Then Bhuvaloka banaya, the molecular universe, that is not as subtle, but for us it is still subtle. For us it is still subtle. Sukshma hai. Or Bhulok banaya, तो Bhulok is more gross. उसको हम देख सकते, छू सकते. We can see the physical universe, the astral universe, the mental universe. Now at every level, everything that is made of three forces. Is made of three forces. Now at any particular level, you will say that between these two chairs is space. You will say between these two chairs is space. So for my eyes it is space. Right? For my eyes it is space. But for the scientist, he'll say that space is full of different molecules and, right? So for him it is not space. But related to me it is space. So at this level it is Akash. But if I have a Sukshma, at the Bhu level it is Akash. But at Bhuva level it may not be Akash. You get what I'm trying to say? So everything is made of the three forces, but at different levels it will mean different things. Now try to understand this. There are only three tattvas, not five tattvas. There are only three. Which are they? Vayu, Agni, Tej and Jal. Vayu, Agni and Jal. Now, this is made. ये हम देख सकते हैं. देख सकते हैं उसका मतलब क्या है? I can see this. What does it mean? It means that they are not in rhythm and balance. For anything to be seen, for anything to be perceived, they must not be in rhythm and balance. You get what I'm trying to say? If they are in rhythm and balance, it is Chiti Shakti. You get what, right? So, but they are not in rhythm and balance, so this is made. So it means that Jal, Agni and Vayu are not in rhythm and balance, it is Prithvi. But I'll say this is space over here. This is space. That means Jal, Agni and Vayu are in rhythm and balance related to Bhulok, only relative to Bhulok. Relative to my eyes, they are in rhythm and balance, it is Akash Tattva. What is Akash? जब तीन गुण are in rhythm and balance relative to that level of perception, it is Akash. What is Prithvi? When three forces are in imbalance related to that level, it is Prithvi. Now, we'll say in another way. Supposing I say I have a Chit Akash. Chit Akash. So just now I will say that this space in my mind is space. It is Akash. Right? There is nothing there. Everything is in rhythm and balance. But when I go into a dream at night, I see everything. I see another case like this. That means the level has changed. Related to this level where I am waking up, it is Akash Tattva. But when I go there, it is not Akash Tattva anymore. It becomes Prithvi Tattva. You get what I am trying to say? At every level, the rhythm and balance changes. So in reality, there are not five tattvas, there are only three. If three are in imbalance, it is Prithvi. If three are in balance, it is Akash. Yudhishthir means balance. The one who is sthir in every yudh. And only Akash is sthir. Now you get what I'm trying to say. Who is always sthir. If two waves meet, one neutralizes the other. That in between point is Yudhishthir. आप एक मुझे गाली देते हैं लेकिन मैं वो गाली को न्यूट्रलाइज कर दूं तो वो इन बिटवीन जो पॉइंट है वो युधिष्ठिर, where the pendulum is exactly in between. The three forces are in rhythm and balance. I don't know if I've tried my best. It's very this thing, because everywhere people talk of Panch Tattva, there are not really Panch Tattva, there are only 3 Tattvas. So, Yudhishthir is the one who is sthir in Yuddha, Vishuddhi Chakra. Now, Vishuddhi can have 2 meanings, Vishesh Shuddhi, or jo Vish ko Shuddh karta hai. The one who, like Mirabai, can drink poison and balance it inside. We cannot. Mirabai could, right? But we drink poison and balance it inside. Whichever way we want to take the meaning, right? Now, from this is born a son called Prativind. Prativind. If at any moment in space and time I can see the Akash, Vind means to pierce. So, what do we call it in Hindi? To pierce. छेदना. Wind means to pierce. मैं किसी भी क्षण को आकाश देख सकता हूं तो मैं टाइम एंड स्पेस को पियर्स कर सकता हूं, और ये शक्ति मैंने अपने गुरु में देखी है, इसलिए बोलता हूं. सपोजिंग आप कहते हैं कि यू वॉन्ट टू स्टार्ट अ फैक्ट्री, सो यू कम टू मी एंड यू विल से कि भाई, टू मी मीन्स टू एनीवन, आई एम जस्ट सेइंग टू एनीवन, एंड यू विल से वी वांट टू स्टार्ट अ फैक्ट्री एंड यू विल गिव मी अ बिग रोजी पिक्चर ऑफ योर फैक्ट्री. Okay, I am going to buy raw material at this price, but I am going to sell it at 10 times the price, right? The finished product at 10 times the price you will see, right? Now, at that moment in time, if I can see Akash, and Akash takes a simple form, and it is negative at that time, I know Prativind, I know this factory is never going to work. आप समझते हैं? So before starting anything, the whole art is, if the pendulum is in the middle, then it senses the Akash Tattva, and that Akash Tattva tells, okay, just now the 3 forces are in balance, but this factory will be made. It means they have to go into imbalance to make that factory. And whether that factory will succeed, what form of imbalance will be seen in that? That is Prativind, the one who can go through time and space.
Future intuitions.
He pierces time and space. And I have seen this in my teacher, so I know. I mean, he just used to tell like this. I can start from morning to evening, every day incidences. And it was like a game for him, absolute game. It didn't mean no miracle or anything. It was just an ordinary game, like the children play a game. We used to be making medicine in the afternoons, and he would have a whole list. Okay, this one. And then I would say, sir, this one's we have to make, wait. And then he would take another bottle, and now that name is not on the list whose medicine we have to make. And he used to live on the 6th floor, no lift. No lift. On the 6th floor. So he would make the bottle of medicine and he would screw the cap like this, and the last cap is screwed like this, the bell will ring. He'll go to the door, he'll give him the bottle, he'll come back and start making medicine. What does it mean? That he saw him coming up the stairs. Prativind. When the Kundalini reaches Vishuddhi, this power, this is the son of Draupadi and Yudhishthir, Prativind. People, I used to come, to him that I remember one day, one girl came, she'd been coming for nearly a year. I'm not getting a divorce from my husband. And he wouldn't answer her. So, I remember she came around 20th of January. After 1 year, she had been coming for 1 year. And 20th of January, he's telling now her husband is in Bangalore and she's coming here in Bombay. On 2nd of February, he's going to fall in love with another girl. Then he'll give you a divorce by 15th of February. Pratibin. So, he could just see. So, these are the children of the 5 chakras, the sensitivities of the 5 elements, the children of the 5. And when they are married to Draupadi, sex energy, these are the 5 children, the products of those 5 chakras. I'll just take a little bit of Akash before we finish. Now, before we start any new thing, if there is a sensitivity of discomfort, everybody understands the word? No, not down.
कुछ रुकावट है.
Then that is Akash is trying to tell us something at that time. That is the Akash trying to tell us. I feel uneasy. Right? Attraction and repulsion is from Akash. Because magnetism is in Akash. Gravity is in Mooladhara. Magnetism is in Akash. Magnetism frees us from the law of gravity. But we'll go into this later as we see. When we start on the road of sadhana, we are under the law of gravity. Slowly we come under the law of magnetism. And the last law which comes is the law of Krupa, grace. We'll go into that later. 3 laws we go through. Right? I feel shame. Sharam लगता है. Sharam वो आकाश तत्व है. I feel a kind of fear कि ये करूँगा तो क्या होगा. It is Akash. Jealousy is here in Vishuddhi. Jealousy. Now all these tattvas which I feel means the I is attached. But these thoughts can be there without the I being attached to them. Don't try to change the thoughts. Try to separate the I from the thoughts. These 5 chakras are going to decode everything that comes inside. It is their responsibility to decode everything. They will decode positive also and they will decode negative also. We don't want to stop the thoughts. We want to detach the I from the thoughts, where the I becomes the observer. And as we detach, the speed of thoughts will slow down. That is there. But that does not mean they will stop completely. Don't get into this thing of nirvichar and all that. Right? Detach the I. The I is the observer of full vichar and nirvichar also. Detach the I. Right? So, these are our thoughts. We always say, my thought, don't say. These thoughts are the products of the 5 chakras. It is their responsibility to decode everything which comes inside. And this is the way they decode everything. Then remains the 3 upper chakras. We will take those later on. Because in this is not the feeling of the 5 sensitivities. It is the feeling of I. In this. Take that. We'll stop over here. Thank you very much.